Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We're live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Happy Friday, guys.
Yeah, some of us are looking very colorful today.
Sharp.
Yeah, oh, you like this, Skip?
Some of us
This is old
are
Jerry,
colorful.
just old Jerry Jones blue. That's what
Is
they
it
call
okay
it.
for me to wear sunglasses on this show?
You could.
What's up, for what?
It's
Oh, because
hard
Jenny
to
got
look
on-
at. I'll just focus over here today.
Yeah.
I'll debate that square up there.
Trying to distract you.
Yeah.
They call
Distract
this.
the audience.
They call this Nipsey Hussle
Really?
blue.
Oh, do
nice.
they?
That's what they call it.
okay.
That's what they call it. That's what I heard. I don't know,
Really?
Skip.
I don't know
I like
either.
it. I like it. I like it. I think Jerry would like that.
You're a hater too, Skip. I've been noticing that.
Say a
lately.
word.
Yeah, but I'm saying your body language. I can read body language.
Yeah, it's Black Friday.
It is.
Yep.
It's about to be for
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
I feel like you're about to say plenty here because we've got a lot to get to on today's show. Is Tom Brady ever going to retire? And is John Gruden already going after his GM? But hey, we're going to start with LeBron. He was reportedly shocked by Magic Johnson's resignation this week. ESPN says LeBron usually knows what's going on with his team, but added, quote, he doesn't always get to make the calls, but he always knows first. This has never happened to him before. There are big decisions for LA this summer in free agency, and yesterday Rick Bucher said right here on our show that their number one target is, sorry, Skip, it's Kawhi Leonard. Take a listen.
I don't believe that this is Rob Pelinka's job and away we go. The referendum on Rob Pelinka will be this summer. And the big fish that Jeannie Buss wants is Kawhi Leonard.
Really?
If they get Kawhi Leonard, then I think that Rob, yes, has power, he controls. But this is what's so beautiful about this.
Okay, time out real quick. Bigger fish than Kevin Durant?
They know Kevin Durant's not.
Really? They think it's no way.
That's not happening.
All right.
Whew, Shannon, could you see Kawhi teaming up with LeBron?
I don't. Kawhi wants to be the star, and it's not necessarily, Skip. I don't believe that, if he's in L.A., whether he plays for the Clippers or the Lakers, he's in the L.A. market. Kawhi needs the ball. LeBron and Kawhi play basically the same position, and going to the Clippers would provide him that opportunity to be the main guy on the court, regardless of whoever, because they have the spot for two max players. So whomever they sign, other than Kevin Durant, he's going to be the guy. So if you pair him with Kemba, you pair him with someone else, for the most part, he's going to be the guy. And I think that he wants to be that, Skip. He wants to, I think he says, I've earned the right to be a guy. I've been the guy. I've been 2 times Defensive Player of the Year. I've been an All-NBA player. I've been a Finals MVP. Do I really want to play second fiddle? The expectations that come along with that. And now in San Antonio, he was very, very comfortable playing behind Tim Duncan and let Tim do his thing, and then Manu and Tony Parker. And he kind of relished that role, Skip. But he's a very quiet guy. He doesn't really care to talk to the media, and so I just don't see it happening. I really don't. For me, I still like Kevin. I know Rick said yesterday Kevin Durant's a no-go. And
Everybody says that. Like it's a done deal. He's going to the Knicks.
But we've talked about this before, Skip. The deals that will be consummated on July 1st are happening behind the scenes as we currently speak.
Yep.
So these deals are not going to go down to the last minute. Oh, there's a change of plan. Oh, there's a change of heart. No, they're working on this right now. They're constructing this right now as we speak. But I just don't see Kawhi. And I believe the Clippers are more apt to let Kawhi miss 22 games because of load management. I think Toronto, him staying in Toronto, they will acquiesce and let him miss 22 games. Skip, I don't know if the Lakers are going to be okay with this. Now, maybe he's like, I got to get this paper. And maybe if there's a little tweak, he might be willing to play through that. But before he gets that max deal, he's unwilling to play through those injuries. But I believe the Clippers and Toronto will let him have more say than if he were to come to the Lakers. So therefore, I do not see this happening.
Okay. So this is what I know about our man Rick Bucher, who was with us yesterday. He's been covering the NBA for a long, long time, dating back to his days at ESPN. And I know he is very plugged into the Lakers, and he knows Jeannie Buss very well. So I'm going to educated guess this is coming straight from Jeannie to Rick Bucher. So what does it tell you about Jeannie Buss that she has identified that guy as her quote-unquote big fish? What does that say for Jeannie Buss, who clearly has reasserted her power in the organization to the point that Magic said, I can't take it anymore.
Right.
You're in charge. You're going to do it your way. You want to keep Luke. You want to give Rob Pelinka even more power than he had with me.
Right.
So you're in charge, and you want that guy? What does that say to you?
Well, I don't know, Skip. I mean, he's a California kid, and maybe she's like, Magic, I did it your way. You got rid of Julius Randle. You got rid of Brooke Lopez. You traded D'Angelo Russell. I've done it your way. Now we're about to do it my way, because at the end of the day, it's Jeannie Buss, team owner or majority owner of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay. So what just happened is, to me, in effect, Jeannie Buss is now on the hottest seat, because I think the world has sat back and said, well, wait a second, Jeannie's in control here. And
yes.
You defended Jeannie as you should have the other day, because she deserves, she's earned the right to do this, but now it's her right and her responsibility.
Correct.
Okay, you do it. And again, Rick's conclusion was, well, let's not sign off on Rob Pelinka. Now his assignment is go get that guy, right?
Right.
Well, it's really her order to go get that guy, so she needs to be the recruiter also, because she's going to have to participate in this process, because it's clear she is running the Lakers now, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to disqualify myself one more time. You know exactly how I feel about that guy whose name I cannot speak. Number 2 up in Toronto. He quit on my Spurs. I just can't. I guess you could say I forgive, but I will never forget.
No, you haven't forgiven him because you haven't addressed his name.
I'm not going to address his name.
Well, that means the forgiveness cannot take place.
And why did he quit on the Spurs? In part because they didn't jump to give him a max contract. In part because they began to put him on a hotter and hotter seat to play with a thigh bruise. And in part, he quit because I think he was feeling the pressure to become the man in San Antonio, and he did not love it, because it's a small market, but it is all Spurs all the time market. So it's 365 days of Spurs. They're like the Cowboys in Dallas, except they're the Spurs in San Antonio with no competition.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. He's a whale in that small market.
He's a whale, and he knew it, and he didn't like the whale responsibility that he was starting to feel, because to your point, you're exactly right. He flourished in the shadow of Duncan Ginobili and Parker, because it was a great spot to be in, because he came from nowhere. Nobody really expected him. What was he, his 15th overall?
I think 15th,
yeah. So nobody really even knew who he was. San Diego State. Another R.C. Buford special. How did you steal him from Larry Bird in Indiana? And you got Davis Bertans on top of that. But the point is, he slowly came from nowhere, and he enjoys being out of the limelight, out of the spotlight. He's one of the weirdest dudes I've ever tried to figure out. I just watched this morning a session he did with his new teammate, Serge Ibaka. What's it called? How Hungry Are You? It's a little cooking show, but it's really it's really just Serge interviewing his teammates.
Right.
And it's kind of corny funny, but he actually gets some good responses because he is their teammate. Right. And he can continue to push and prod in the way that guy would never let any other interviewer poke and prod him. Right. And he got a few things out of him. He's a weird dude. He said once at one point, Serge asked him, "What would you be if you weren't a basketball player?" And he said, "Well, I always loved math. I would do something with math. I'd be trying to make a lot of money with math." Okay, well,
a math teacher?
I don't know. A mathematician. I don't know, but I didn't know why. He said that was his love as a child, was mathematics.
Work at NASA.
Okay, well, he could be. I don't know, because he has a depth to him that I'd never seen.
That's a good point.
I mean, I didn't know any of this stuff. He's never spoken that long to anybody in a public setting.
In order to make a lot of money as a mathematician, you're going to have to be in the private sector.
Okay, well,
working for the government, they don't pay a lot of money.
Okay, but would I put it past him? I would not. But all that Jeannie knows is he's born in Compton, raised in Riverside, so he's Southern California, San Diego State. So she's thinking, okay, I could get the Southern California kid. Clearly, he grew up idolizing the Lakers.
Yes.
But who did he probably idolize the most outside of Kobe? He probably even goes back to Magic days, right?
Yeah.
So Magic Johnson, the most beloved Laker ever, even more than Kobe to me, you could argue that. I think Magic Johnson might be the most beloved NBA player of all time.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
He might be.
Okay, he just might be.
Wow.
That guy just said, I can't take the Laker dysfunction anymore at the top. I can't take the LeBron circus anymore, and I'm out. And what message would that send to number 2 all the way up there in Toronto, thinking about going, quote unquote, home? Well, he would think, well, wait a second. If Magic said no, should I say yes? Right? Wouldn't that scare him even more?
Well, Skip, it's going to be very interesting because when they had Magic at the helm, he couldn't land Paul George, who was a California kid who wanted to come to the
point.
Lakers. And he gave Indiana, like, I want to go to the Lakers. They said, well, we're going to stop you off before the plane is out of gas.
Okay.
So you got to make a land. You got to touch down in Oklahoma City. And he stayed.
What do and again, that guy up in Toronto showed me his side. He's smart. He's got some
got depth to it.
intellectual depth to him. A couple of things he said, I was like, wow, I didn't know that about that guy. Well, isn't he smart enough to know what happens to LeBron's co-star? It's a tough spot because most of the media loves LeBron. You love LeBron. You're going to be quick to protect LeBron, and who's in the line of fire? It's his co-star. You're quick to say, wait a second, it can't be LeBron's fault. It's got to be that guy's fault. That's why Paul George said, I don't want any part of that.
But when was the last time we saw a co-star with Kawhi's background? D. Wade and Skip, as you mentioned, D. Wade, when LeBron got there, that was at the very early beginning of the knee problems.
Yeah, but Dwayne took a lot of beating, man. It was like, he can't do it he can't carry Dwayne anymore.
But it's hard to criticize a guy that was Finals MVP and averaged 35 points a game in a series before you got there. Kawhi Leonard is probably 8 years younger than LeBron, and so he would be the co-star.
Yeah.
The question is.
This is his 8th year in the league.
So he's he's 8 years, at least 8 years younger than LeBron.
Okay.
So with that being said, Skip, I believe what happens is that what LeBron's faced is that very few have faced. The expectations are NBA Finals. It's not Eastern Conference Finals when he's in the East. It's not Western Conference Finals now that he's in the West. It's the NBA Finals. Yep. And can a co-star? Has anybody ever, been put to that? Because you can be great at one locale. We've seen guys come play with LeBron. Rodney Hood, for example. He was lighting it up in Utah.
He was.
And he got to Cleveland with the expectations.
I agree.
They needed him to do the same thing.
I agree.
He couldn't throw it in the ocean.
He could not. And I agree with that. And that can happen.
Yes.
That syndrome operates.
Yes.
Wherever LeBron goes, the pressure is extraordinary, and LeBron has lived with it since he was like 12.
Yes.
And so he's okay with it.
Right.
The others are not okay with it often. Kyrie was mostly okay with it.
But Kyrie was built for the big stage.
Yeah.
He was built for that moment. That's why he was unafraid to take and make big shots in big games. Some guys are built for that moment, even though they might not be the greatest of players, but some guys can handle adversity better.
Yep.
Because the pressure mount. And as you go further along, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, that's when all the marbles are goes to the table. And Kyrie was able to handle that. Now, we haven't seen Kawhi really play in those moments with the expectations of NBA Finals or bust.
Yep. Okay. So to me, Jeannie Buss is starting to show signs of living in the past because she grew up under a father who was the sort of godfather of the Showtime Lakers.
Yes.
He ushered in that era. And all she knew was
Winning.
incredible success, like national success, where you were the number one draw in the nation through those years, right?
Yeah.
And she's saying, we're still the Lakers, so I can snap my fingers and I can get whoever I want to get.
They went to 8 finals in the 80s.
Okay.
8.
And?
The Rockets went to the other two, 81 and 86. Other than that, it was the Lakers. So that's what she knows, Skip.
Okay. And then, obviously, the stepchild of the Lakers has always been the team that shares their building called the Clippers.
Yeah, they third cousins.
Yeah, third, fourth, fifth cousins. Sometimes they didn't even belong in the same building. And all of a sudden, they're on the rise. All of a sudden, they're run by a man who used to run the Showtime Lakers, or at least the architect, Jerry West. And obviously, that guy up in Toronto is smart enough to say, well, wait a second, I have an off-Broadway alternative here. I got out of the spotlight, out of the limelight alternative in the same building. I can play at Staples Center, but I don't have to play in the shadow or try to fit in with LeBron.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay, so.
But see, that's the Lakers. See, you see what happened, Skip? The Clippers are squatters. We let them use our building, and now all of a sudden they want to live there. They want to take it over. They done kicked us out. They're going to be playing in our building. They having house parties and everything. You don't live there.
That's a problem.
That is.
And the other problem is, it was very interesting in telling to me that there have been several reports that LeBron James knew nothing about Magic's departure.
Right.
So he didn't even give him fair warning. And this is what, and again, I don't want to pile on LeBron any more than I have. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt for next year. It's time for, he's just going to have to rise and reshine next year. And I'm waiting until July 1st to see what they can pull off, to see if they still are the Lakers. But this is what Magic's behavior told me. If he didn't make one call to LeBron, I get why he didn't call Jeannie, because it was clear after their meeting the day before that he just felt like they aren't going to work anymore. Like he was mad at her. He was mad at what she had told him about Pelinka and Luke.
Well, first of all, Skip, the way I look at it, if the meeting went according to what many think, Jeannie already knew what he was going to do.
You could make a case.
If she's been around Magic Johnson as long as she has, and all of a sudden you can't do this, you told me I have say. But I want to fire him, you say no. I want to fire him, you say no.
Correct.
You told me. So what am I doing here? See, Skip, I believe that when he met, it was reported that Magic Johnson met with Rich Paul and LeBron James. That was Saturday or Sunday. On Monday, he had a 3-hour meeting. Skip, nobody knew. The media, they thought Magic called him over. They thought they was just going to talk about next year or closing out the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
He drops this bombshell in their lap.
He did. So let's go back to LeBron. I watched the whole 45 minutes of Magic's off-the-cuff remarks to the media, unannounced, out of nowhere, out of the blue, as shocking a quote-unquote press conference as I've ever watched. This side of his HIV press conference a long time ago. God bless him. I'm knocking on wood for that. But in those 45 minutes, he mentioned LeBron James one time. And why did he, in what context? He said, I recruited LeBron. I don't think you recruited LeBron. He recruited you.
Right.
He knocked on your door
That
effectively.
was a Baker Mayfield. He knocked on Oklahoma's door and said, can I come play here?
That
play
is
here?
correct.
LeBron knocked on Magic's door and said, Magic, you
So
mind if I
Magic
speak
was
tonight?
trying to defend his
Sure.
now legacy as GM of
Right.
the Lakers. But to me, if you had been close to LeBron, if you signed him as your partner, like going forward, then you would go out of your way to call him and give him a heads up, and you would have a tearful goodbye with him where you'd say, I wanted to see this through with you, and she won't let me, or it won't let me, whatever. And there was none of that. He didn't thank LeBron. He didn't thank him in the
Thank you for
tweets.
what? We ain't made the playoffs. What I'm thanking you for?
Well, that's my point. I think, this is my 2 cents from a distance, I don't think Magic was real pleased with LeBron this year. And I'm talking about his all-in buy-in was not there to me.
Well, hell, Magic was never around, so how the hell did he know what LeBron was doing?
You can say that that's a hypocritical view.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think he liked LeBron's body language, his commitment to try to win games with these kids. And they're kids that, obviously 2 of them, that Magic picked. And I don't think he loved it.
Well, here's another hypocritical statement, Skip. You said Magic Johnson picked these kids, but Magic Johnson also said he cleared cap space for 2 max guys. Well, if you get 2 max guys, those damn kids are not going to be on that roster.
They're not. Okay.
So you can't say LeBron wasn't willing to work with those kids because you were willing to get rid of those kids. Because if you sign KD, AD, you sign Paul George, those kids are going to go. You knew that.
Maybe 1 or 2 of them could go, not all of them.
Well, maybe Josh Hart, but it's hard for me to see a scenario where Kuzma stays if you get a Paul George or you sign a KD. Somebody got to go.
Okay.
Because you can't have 4 threes because that's the problem now, Skip. They have all these guys and they all play the same position.
Okay. Here's the other problem though for Magic. I think he realized early on it's hard with LeBron because LeBron and Maverick and Rich and Randy have been together for so long. They run their own show. You can't interfere with how they do business. Like they've been doing it for so long in Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland, and then to LA.
Right.
That Magic can't be the boss of them. Like he can't be part of their group and tell them how to operate because they're going to do what they do, what they've been doing for a long time.
Right.
And I don't think he loved that because I told you on Wednesday was the day after the big press conference, that I think Magic woke up and thought, wait a second, he's got more power in this franchise than I have.
Right.
Well, you just got to live with that. And I don't think Magic Johnson, the great Magic Johnson, could live with that in the end.
Another thing to your point, Skip, you talk about Randy, and you talk about Rich Paul and Maverick, is that if you want one of these guys, or if you want a couple of these guys, you're going to have to make concessions. You're going to have to say, Russell Westbrook get privileges in OKC that probably no other players get. His mom, her face is her ID. His wife, that's their ID.
That's true.
So you're going to have to make concessions, and most people, most sports franchises are willing to make those concessions, especially in that sport because it's so superstar driven.
Yep.
Now, maybe in football, Skip, you got 53 guys, and I get it. It's not the same. But if you wanted LeBron James, what do you think the Knicks would be willing to do to make sure Kevin Durant? Your mom, where your mom want to sit? Does she want to sit in Dolan seats?
Yep.
Okay. Kyrie, what does his dad want? Is that what he want? Okay. Those are the concessions. Those are perks, Skip. You want somebody to sign, this is what I'm willing to do.
Okay.
CEOs get it all the time. You want the CEO, you want to represent your company. Okay, we're going to give you 24-hour protection. We're going to give you these health benefits. We're going to give you all the private, all that.
I agree.
That's what you got to do. You know what you signed on with LeBron.
Right.
So don't pretend like all of a sudden Maverick just came up there this year. Rich Paul and Randy Mills just came
I'm not
this
sure
year.
Magic got that until he lived it. When he started to live it, he's like, ooh.
Oh, the word gets around.
Okay.
The word gets around.
Yeah.
Ugh, I know. It's a great point, though, about only mentioning LeBron that one time.
One time.
45 minutes.
Okay, last quick point. The three biggest fish out there on the market on July 1st, they're all weird dudes to me, and I mean that in a positive way. They're different. They're different thinkers. The guy up in Toronto, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, they follow the beat of their own drummers.
Right.
They're unpredictable at best.
Yes.
So I can't write any of this off because I don't know what they're going to think on the last day.
Hell, all three of them might go play together somewhere.
Well, seriously, it's not out of the realm. It's just not out of the realm because I don't know that they're liable to just snap their fingers and say, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hard to know at this point. One thing we may know, will Tom Brady make Shannon mad and play until he is 50
Make him
years
sick.
old? We'll discuss that next. Don't
That's a
forget,
shame.
you can listen to us every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. I picked this one for you. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Hey everyone, Jenny Taft here, and thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. If you like what you hear, then you should subscribe to the First Things First podcast featuring Chris Carter, Nick Wright, and Jenna Wolfe. The First Things First pod breaks down the biggest stories in the world of sports. So if you like the NFL, NBA, college sports, then you're going to like this podcast, the First Things First podcast. The First Things First podcast drops Monday through Friday with a special weekend edition as well. And be sure to catch the show live on TV before us every weekday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Now, back to our show.
No mercy.
We all know by now that Tom Brady is not young, but at 41 years old, he still managed to win a record 6th Super Bowl title. Brady's contract is up at the end of next season, but he has said in the past that he wants to play into his mid-40s. Well, now his trainer, Alex Guerrero, actually said Brady can play until he is 50.
What?
He went on to say this: I'm a big believer that everything is learned behavior. You tell an athlete, you're going to be done when you're 30. Well, the brain begins to believe that, and all your neuroprogramming is based on, okay, I'm 30, I'm old. But I don't think the brain understands the concept of time. It doesn't understand age, right? How would your brain know you're whatever age you are? I always tell Tom, we're not going to tell our body what we want to do. We're going to tell our body what we want it to do. Shannon? Shannon, could you see Brady play until he's 50?
I want him to go away.
Who, Alex
guy.
or Brady?
This guy.
I think you want Brady to go
No,
away.
Brady's fine. I want this guy.
You're over
Because he's
it?
talking crazy. This is ridiculous. No, he's not playing to 50. I mean, did you see the Super Bowl last year? Did that strike you as a guy that was going to play until he's 50?
The guy who should have been MVP?
No, he should not have. Skips, don't do that. Oh, one pass. Did you see that throw? That was the throw of the game. No.
It was 4 straight, but
No,
that's
no,
okay.
no, no,
The
no,
score was
no,
3-3
no,
in the fourth quarter.
No,
Yep.
he's not playing. He's not playing. Everybody forgets that there are parts of the season in which it looked like he was done then. Look, I get it. But this notion, I get it. The brain might not know how old you are, but there are other parts of your body do. So guess what? When you can't walk anymore and it hurts to get up out of bed, yeah, that's when you know. That's not your brain. That's when you try to get up out of bed like, ooh, my ankles, ooh, my knees, ooh, my back, my shoulders.
You think that's Tom Brady right now?
Skip, I ain't talking about right. Hell, ain't nobody feeling that way right now. I feel great right now. Catch me after this 4 o'clock workout this afternoon. And then all of a sudden, like, damn, what happened to me? I feel like I played a football game. This is what I want to know. If this guy is such the guru, why is Tom Brady his only big cheat? Because Bob Byron, the guy that trained Michael Phelps to swim, Michael Phelps wasn't his only client.
I thought about that.
Because he's so great. They're like, hold on, what is Michael doing? And everybody flocked there.
Have you ever heard of Rob Gronkowski?
Yeah. Did you see him? Did you see how he looked? Because he tried to train Rob Gronkowski like a quarterback.
Well, you said he didn't have any other clients, so there's another one.
Hold on, Skip. Look, my thing is that you can't train a tight end like you train a quarterback. You can't train an offensive lineman like you train a kicker.
True.
So I still, okay, you only named me 2. Bob Bauman had way more than 2. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay, but remember, Tom Brady has become his full-time job. They spend all day, every day together.
So,
It's reported in this story that he even sits through meetings with Tom Brady, massaging his injured finger. Like, come on. I mean, this is...
Hashtag gross.
Okay.
Hashtag never. Hashtag
Okay,
I want him to go away again.
Hashtag greatest player
But
ever.
anyway, Skip, think about this. Let this sink in for a second. If I'm a cardiologist, and I'm one of the foremost cardiologists in the world, I have citations from 7 different medical boards. So what am I supposed to do? You know what? I put this heart in this well-known person. That's the only guy. I'm just going to make sure he's okay. No, you don't do that, Skip. You don't provide that. Look at all the great athletes, and you look at their trainers. You look at Usain Bolt, trainer, Mills. Usain Bolt wasn't the only guy that he trained. You look at all these guys, but the only guy
is the guy. Is the guy. That's it.
I'm trying to
Period.
figure
End
this
of
out.
story.
He's not playing till he's 50. He's playing 1 more year, and it's over. Kaput. Finito. Done.
How many cases do we have bet on this one?
We already got 2 or 3.
Do we?
Yes,
Want to make
we
it
do.
10?
Couple cases?
Yeah, we got 2 or 3.
Want to make it 5?
I don't want to start 2020 off like that.
Okay.
I don't want you to start off in the hole.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I want you to start up in the hole.
Protecting you now.
Okay.
You know, case of do causing enemies.
Okay. Well, then we'd be mortal
Really
enemies,
in trouble.
right? Yeah. Look, a number of this man's rivals, a number of media experts have accused him of various forms of quackery.
Yes.
Alex Guerrero.
Snake oil.
You can argue all the above all day long until you're blue as you are in the face, right? I don't know if you could get that blue in the face, but maybe.
If he played till he's 50, watch.
Okay,
Just watch.
Just watch. All I know is that number 12 up in Foxborough believes mind, body, and soul in Alex Guerrero.
He
That's
does.
all that matters
He does.
in the end, because if you believe in it or him, it just doesn't matter, because now we get back to what Alex Guerrero is preaching about this. And this I believe with all my heart and soul. I had a guy who did my first knee surgery. He became a very close friend of mine. And he used to preach to me, anything the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. So if you can conceive it in your mind, and you have to believe it to conceive it, then your body will follow suit. You can heal your body with your mind, but you have to believe that what you're doing to heal it works.
Skip, you
okay?
honestly believe that? So
I do.
every athlete that has not become successful, he didn't believe that he was going to be successful.
Okay.
That's the notion what he just said.
But the biggest notion is You got conditioned in your career to believe that when you hit 30, you're starting to diminish. You're starting to go on.
No, the team did that. When they started cutting players, they got to 30. That was Bill Walsh and whomever else came up with that idea.
But it got stuck in your brain. It got pounded into your brain. Boy, when you hit the big 3-0, you're going to start to go on the downside. I've told you about Brady from the start. He continues to shatter the mold because he doesn't act or think the way you were conditioned to think that a franchise quarterback should act or think. He thinks completely differently. He believes in this pliability and all the things that go along. You can say it's hocus pocus, but he believes it, and his body is achieving it because his mind is 1,000% in tune with everything Alex Guerrero preaches to him. So if that's the case, then here's the point. If Tom Brady chose to play until he's 50, if he really he'd have to want to. And that's the biggest question here because you always say you hit the wall of wanting to, okay?
No, I wanted to play. I didn't want to go to meetings.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. But that's all part of this.
Yeah.
That's all part of this.
Yes.
It's hard, man.
It is.
And at some point, if he doesn't want to go to training camp again, if he doesn't want to break in 5 new kid receivers again, at some point it'll just wear him out mentally and he says, my kids are in high school now and my son's playing football or whatever it is, he might just say, I just don't want to spend the time on this anymore.
The most impressive thing for me about him and being in 20 years, Skip, he's heard the same verbiage for 20 years. Very few quarterbacks have heard. They have a different head coach. They get different offensive coordinators and the verbiage change. He's heard the exact verbiage for 20 years, with the exception of a play here or there.
Okay.
I get it. New guys come in and you develop new relationships and that keeps you going also. But to hear the same thing over and over, it's almost like, I guess people say that's impressive what I do because I just been eating the same thing since 1997 for breakfast. Egg whites and oatmeal, a little fruit here and there.
Okay.
So I guess, you know what, Jenny? Brain, I'm living to 100. The oldest person was a French, 130. I'm living to 141.
You got to believe it.
That's what I'm telling myself.
I like it.
Well, do you believe it? Because I don't think you believe it.
I 1,000%.
I'm
really
calling
believe
BS on
You know
it.
what? I'm a little older than Methuselah.
Really?
Methuselah was in the 980s. I'm a little be 1,000.
Okay, but see, you don't believe
I
it.
believe
If
it.
you believed it, I'd give you a
I
shot.
believe it.
You don't believe
I
it.
do.
Tom Brady believes in this guy. And the quote from Guerrero is, he's my best friend. I believe that. They spend extraordinary amounts of even off-season time together.
I don't want to be riding nobody that long.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's you.
We know
but
that.
But you keep trying to impose your beliefs on Tom Brady, and it won't work because everything you were taught, everything you taught your body to believe, he's unteaching. He's not like you. He doesn't think the way you thought. And he didn't play your position, so he wasn't exposed to the hits.
And
that you were
and now
exposed
they
to.
even taking the
Okay,
the
they
hits
are.
out.
Okay.
And that changes.
You feel comfortable with that, Skip?
He still gets hit, but not the way you got hit. It wasn't career threat. Every time you got tackled, especially when you're going over the middle, it's like it's career threatening.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
You get your cleat caught in the turf a little bit, and
Yeah, if somebody runs into the back of you at, say, 10 miles an hour,
Yep.
okay, that's one thing. Or you run in the back of someone, you see that collision coming, or you look in the rear view, you see them coming.
Yeah.
Somebody T-bones you at that same speed that you don't see coming, those are the ones that hurt. Those are the ones that you're talking about. I'm going over the middle. I got my eye focused on the pass.
You do.
And all of a sudden, the backside safety, I'm like, ooh, where did he come from? But Skip, honestly, you know that man's not playing to 50.
I don't know.
You know.
What do I always tell you? And you won't.
I'm betting
let
against
your
it.
mind
You know
wrap.
what? I'm betting everything.
Here it is.
I'm
Don't
betting-
bet against this man.
I'm betting
Whatever.
everything.
Now he hasn't
What
said
are
it
we
yet.
betting?
I'm betting Jenny's
Why are we getting rid of
lip
my
gloss.
stuff?
Oh,
I'm betting
wow.
Jenny's
that's,
lip
that's
gloss.
going way out on the limb.
Yeah, I'm betting
Really
everything.
far out there.
That might
Hold
cost,
up, hold up.
That might cost
Why
$1.
are we
I'm
getting rid of my phone?
Apple,
Rid of
2
your
apples,
phone.
a Galaxy. I'm betting everything. All this and my pen. That's a very special pen to me, Skip. I'm putting up and Jack Black.
Are you betting the history in those phones? Because if you're betting the history, then we got
Oh,
something.
Jenny said, Jenny said, take my phone, baby. Don't put no history. Skip, baby.
Secrets.
Yeah, that's the thing. Skip, 1 year. He's not playing the 50. You know that. George Blanda played the 48.
He's going to play more than 1 year because he's on the record. I'm playing until I'm 45. That's 3 more years. Minimum. Now, again, this is Alex Guerrero. And remember, this came in an interview in which he's just sort of free associating, and he says, hey, he's off the top of his head, he could play until he's 50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He just threw it out.
Yeah.
Like a good
Yeah,
round
you
number.
just throw it. Stop throwing it out.
Okay.
No, Skip, you can't get the history here now. I mean, somebody, I was like, call 911. They're like, what's your passcode? I'm like, hold on, just a second. I might be all right.
Oh, you're okay.
don't open that phone, cool.
Really?
I can't let you do that.
And why you have two?
I
is
am
a
always
whole different
suspicious of two
discussion.
phones.
Why you suspicious?
Feels like you're up
Because-
to something.
No.
Yeah, that
One
feels.
for sister, brother, mom, kids,
And
special,
And?
then
Special.
this is for
for what?
everybody else.
Oh, wait, which one's special?
This one.
Oh, okay.
Are we on that one? Are we special?
Probably
not.
I'm like Jim
Probably
Carrey
not.
with Jim Carrey character. What was that? Liar, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. You got to believe it, though. I think I like that.
Jenny,
you
stop.
Think it to believe it. Tom thinks he could play forever at this point.
What you want to be, Jenny? What do you see yourself? You want to be president, secretary? I mean, what
I
do you?
just really like to be a great host on Undisputed, and I believe it. You got to
I
believe
mean,
it.
Jenny, you already that.
Thanks.
I mean, you the second most popular up here. There, y'all already know who number one.
But the mind game
Who number one?
is
Yeah.
important to this.
Y'all already know. You know.
What, no what?
Me.
What?
I don't know.
I'm the guy.
You're the guy?
Yeah.
You're the guy?
I'm gonna start wearing black on Fridays.
You probably will.
I don't think we need that. That might be too much for me on Fridays.
Imitation, the greatest form of.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, I kind of wear black every day. I just put some colors on top of it.
A little extra color.
No mercy.
We're going to talk about John Gruden. So he and the Raiders made some controversial moves last year by trading away Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, but now they're loaded with 3 first-round picks, including the 4th overall. Raiders GM Mike Mayock is heading into his first draft later this month, and he said Gruden told him, quote, "Don't mess it up, dude. I took a lot of slings to get you 3 first-round picks." Love that he said, dude. Shannon, what do you make of Gruden saying this?
The same thing Skip made of it. He know he set Mike Mayock up to fail because if these things don't happen the way it's supposed to, because at the end of the day, Skip, you know what it comes down to. You traded Khalil Mack, a defensive player of the year, a Pro Bowl player, an all-pro player.
Yep.
And now you can look at this and say, well, I traded Amari Cooper, even though I get a first-round pick, I really traded him for Antonio Brown. So that was the trade that he's going to look at. But at the end of the day, we look back on the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings, the Herschel Walker trade, for one reason, what it turned the Cowboys into. They got Emmitt Smith, they got Russell Maryland, they got Darren Woodson. They turned into a dynasty.
Jimmy also swung and missed on a bunch of those, but he hit on
He's
those 3.
on the key ones.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to come down to. But he's setting it up like, I gave him first round pick. Skip, you know good and well, John Gruden's going to sign off on everything. Because how does a guy that you hire has more power than you or has final say over you if you hired him?
Yep.
So we all know what's at play here. John's trying to move his hand. I got him these picks, but he picked them. You know good and well, this is the way the draft works. Okay, we might go in there, he's picking 6. We think this guy's going to be available. All of a sudden, the board goes haywire, it goes up or down. John, what? So you have an idea, if your guy that you want to select there at 6 is not there, maybe it's somebody you like, well, there's no way he's going to be here to us at 6 or when they pick 17th. There's no way that guy's going to be there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's sitting there. Or someone that you thought, no way that guy'll be there at 17.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, what are you going to do? And he's going to look at John. John, you good with this? Yes.
Okay.
This ain't no Bill Belichick situation. So John Gruden, stop that. I know what you're trying to do. But Mike Mayock's going to find out things are very different, Skip. Being a draft guru for a network is one thing.
Yep.
When you actually have to put draft players for your team in order for that team to have success, that's something entirely different.
Totally agree.
Yes.
So back to my friend John Gruden. And I still like John Gruden, but I did not like this quote at all. In fact, it rubbed me really the wrong way. And I'm pretty sure John said it somewhat facetiously, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little ha-ha-ha. But he wanted to plant a seed of, well, responsibility is now in your corner. Really? Wait a second. You signed a $100 million contract in part because you got total control and final say on every personnel decision, including who gets drafted.
Everyone.
Own it, embrace it, espouse it.
Thank you.
Talk about it. It's my ball game. And again, They did get one award last year, that Sloan Award at the MIT conference. It was the Transaction of the Year Award, and I was okay with it. The problem is, you get all those picks back, now you got to cash.
Thank you.
And you can't really give the award until you know what got cashed,
Thank
right?
you, right.
Okay, but I get the premise of the award is they got a lot back for those two players.
Yeah.
And for whatever reasons, I have my guesses, John just didn't like Khalil's motor. It doesn't always run hot. Is he gifted beyond gift? Yes, he is. Is he Hall of Fame bound? Don't know for a fact, but it looks like he's on the arc, right?
Yep.
And I love Amari Cooper, but was he John's cup of Gatorade? Maybe not. His motor doesn't run hot. He's quiet. He's anti-diva. He's the opposite of Antonio Brown.
That's true.
Good luck with Antonio,
Right.
but again, they weren't John's guys.
No.
So he just said, okay, he had the guts to plunge both times, but he got big stuff. He got 2 firsts back, one this year, one next year for Khalil, and then there's a bunch of other different picks. But still, if you get 2 firsts, I'm good with that. If that's not your guy, now show me who your guy is.
Right.
And if you can get a first-round pick in return for him from the Dallas Cowboys, boom, do it.
Especially if you're not going to resign him, Skip.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm good with that. So he goes out and he hires Mike Mayock. Now again, Mike's a nice guy, but this is just me. I'm talking strictly professionally here. I never liked his view of draft picks.
Really?
And I'm a draft Nick nut, and I'm into it, as you know. And I've been pretty good at it, and I've demonstrated on the air, and I put my pride and my reputation on the line every pre-draft week. But in this case, I studied Mike Mayock's picks, and they were always incredibly conventional, incredibly by the book, arch conservative. And what he was basically doing as the draft guru was he was just interviewing all the GMs, and he was assembling all their opinions. And what's the consensus? Well, so-and-so is going to go so-and-so.
Right.
So it's not like who's the best pick at
Right.
number 2 or number 3. It's who does everybody think is the best
Is
pick.
the best.
Okay, and there's a telling quote from Mike in this media session that they did. He said that some GM told him the other day, I miss talking ball with you. And Mike said, boy, I miss talking ball with you. Well, that's what he did. He talked ball with everybody.
Right.
And then he assembled all of their opinions and made them his mock opinion.
Right.
That doesn't do a lot for me because that's not how you beat the system.
No.
I do admire
You
Bill.
got to study,
Hey,
and what
hey,
you got to do, Skip, and to your point, you have to study and come up with your own opinions,
own.
not what everybody else. Well, they like this guy, 10 guys like this guy, so he must be good. He's going to probably go somewhere. No, that's not how it works.
How many guys 10 guys liked were busts?
Yes,
How many?
exactly.
Every year. You just look down the first
Right.
round. Trust me, half of them will be swings and misses in the first round.
Yeah.
Coming up, when is it, April 25th or whenever it is,
Yes.
they will swing and miss all through the first round.
And guess what, Skip? There have been a lot of guys, ooh, I would love that guy, thinking in their head, I want that guy. The guy doesn't pan out. I never liked
Never
him.
liked that guy.
It's easy to say you never liked the guy.
Because as you
when
say, it's
exactly.
an inexact science.
Exactly.
And I've always admired Belichick because he is his own thinker, and
Right.
he will look under the rock and
Right.
he'll see something others don't see,
Right.
which is why he can steal players. Again, maybe injuries like Gronkowski falls to the second round.
Well, when are you going to be able to draft a receiver?
Okay, well, that's a whole
Outside of the 7th round,
Okay, that's-
because he has not had success. His best receivers were drafted by someone else. Amendola,
Yep.
Wes Welker, Randy Moss. His receiver, Julian Edelman, 7th rounder. You go back and look at, I think Dobson, and you look at all these guys that he's gotten from Florida, guys that could run. Look at all his draft picks at the receivers. You look at Coach Belichick's draft picks, it's normally guys that came somewhere else
Yep.
and comes to him. Now, he's going to
Yep.
get a lot of credit. He's going to be obviously the greatest. He got Tom Brady. Whether he drafted him, I don't know who picked him or said, Coach, you really need to look at this guy. But if you look at his thing as
Supposedly, it was one of his scouts who
Yeah.
said, I love this kid.
yeah.
You know?
But if you look at his thing as a whole, Skip, Aqib Talib, he didn't draft Aqib Talib.
No.
He didn't draft what's the cornerback that he has now that I thought should have been MVP?
Stephon Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore. He didn't draft him. He didn't draft Darrell Reeves. So let's
But
not.
there are a lot of Duron Harmons that he just stole because they fit the system.
But here's the thing, Skip. You don't get bashed if a 7th rounder or 6th rounder doesn't make it.
Yeah.
You keep missing out on 1st and 2nd rounders, and then people question your ability to select
Okay.
players.
All right. But if you go down the line, let's switch sports. R.C. Buford, how does he keep doing this? He doesn't listen to anybody, and he says, wait a second. that guy at San Diego State, he's better than you think he is. He's not the 15th best player. Or I keep raving about Derek White. What did he see at Colorado and Derek White? He took him 29th overall. Well, that wasn't a consensus pick.
No.
Okay? So you have to be your own thinker, and Mike Mayock has never had to do this before.
Right. And the thing is, when you Coach Belichick, Skip, when you look at it, he has a system. Everybody can't play in that system because some people want to come in and they want to be rookie of the year, or they want to show everybody how great I am. And you know, in his system, you might catch 10 balls. Edelman might catch 10 balls one week. Next week he might catch 3. Or the running back might have 100. Remember Jonas Gray, Skip? He had that. He was AFC Player of the Week. Next week he in the doghouse and really never carried the ball again for the Patriots. Yep. So you have to find guys that's going to fit that system, that they can set their ego, leave it wherever they are. Don't bring it, because if I bring it with me, check it at the door, guess what, Jenny? Coach Belichick ain't looking. I might go back and grab my ego, let him know it's in. He don't even know it's in here, but it is. And now I'm sitting on swole. But John Gruden, I see what you tried to do.
Okay. Well, what he's trying to do is, look, Mike Mayock is nothing but his leg man.
Yeah.
Mike Mayock's doing a lot of dirty work that John just doesn't have time to do.
Right, yes.
Like all the research, all the piles of data and information are now at John's fingertips. But on draft night, the ultimate responsibility falls with that head coach.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay? So it's on you, John. And I still, John's had a hard time picking quarterbacks in his past.
His quarterbacks have had what? He had Brad Johnson. Somebody else picked Brad. Old guy. Rich Gannon. Somebody else picked him. Old guy. Look at the guys he's picked.
Then he went on a run in Tampa where he went miss.
Oh, I think Josh Johnson was one of his picks. I don't know if I don't know if he picked Freeman, Josh Freeman.
I think that was after.
Yeah, that might have been the guy that just stepped down as the defensive coordinator.
Chris Sims was one of his guys.
Yeah.
No pressure for this guy.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
I don't want this job.
He's going to have it like at 1998. A year before, 1999.
He said if we win everything, it'll be fine. If we lose, I'll get fired. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean,
who said that?
He realizes
Gruden?
Mayock.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about John Gruden. John Gruden, no, he ain't going nowhere, Skip.
He knows
got
that.
9 more years at $10 million per. He ain't going nowhere.
He's feeling comfortable.
This better be good. You got 4th, and then you got 24, 27, 35, and that's prime territory in there. Just score.
Well, you know what, Skip? I would package that one of them late first rounders or the second, and I'll come back up in the draft and get me some show enough.
Would you?
Yes. Okay. Yes. It's not. I don't believe in quantity. I believe in quality. So having all those picks, give me 2 great players or potential great players as opposed to 4 or 5 guys that. Man,
okay. You better pick right. If you trade up, you better nail it.
Well, that's what they got Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock, the drive guru, Skip. You remember he had that thing going on. I would take this guy right here. He can run, he can jump, he can do all. He can sink his hips.
That's what he heard.
Yeah, that's what he do. That's what John Gruden got him for. And you know, John, he studied all those guys. You know, he studied them. He got you. He got you, Skip, baby.
Tim Tebow would
He got you. Yeah. Oh, I would take Johnny Manziel. I mean, he took Johnny Manziel. If he
already got Tebow and Manziel into the conversation somehow.
How
about this name? Brett Favre, did he admit
really?
that Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT?
Goat man.
He's saying next.
No mercy.
Back to the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has been in the middle of a lot of drama in Green Bay, ranging from reported tension with former coach Mike McCarthy to questions about his leadership skills. Well, Rodgers has an ally in his former teammate Brett Favre, who had nothing but praise for Rodgers. Let's take a listen.
There's absolutely no doubt that he's probably the most dynamic player in the game right now, maybe ever. What a playmaker. And any coach that will attempt to coach him has to tread lightly, because you don't want to take away what he does so well, which is a lot of good things, and handcuff him and say, okay, well, I'm going to rein him in and I'm going to do this. And I'm not saying Mike did that. I'm not saying that the new coach will do that, but I'm just saying you got to let him play. They really should have won more. For whatever reason, they didn't. They were that good, and they had the best player in the game. I just felt like they should have won more.
Shannon, do you agree with Favre?
To a certain extent. I think Aaron Rodgers is Liam Neeson in Taken, Skip. He's got a very particular set of skills. Very unique.
But Liam Neeson dominated.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love that movie.
When he called it, what did he
do
tell
I.
him?
I can
When they
watch it
when they
tonight.
called and said they wanted the ransom, what did he tell them?
He won the Super Bowl, man.
He did. That's what I'm saying. He's the
went and
most
got
he's
that-
the most gifted
Okay.
thrower of the football, I believe, that in the history, the 100-year history of the NFL. There's not a throw that he can't make. Rolling to his left, rolling to his right, he can in the pocket, he can change arm angles. The platform is no problem for him. But football is a la carte. Skills, okay, that's one set of it. What about leadership? Isn't that another set of it? And see, everybody wants to say, well, he's so talented. He's a great this. No. And and the thing is, Skip, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers didn't always have the best relationship. Because you remember it was Brett Favre that started this notion, actually it was probably Joe, about helping the backup quarterback. Aaron Rodgers said, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's not my job to get him ready to play. So now he comes to his defense. It's like, see, it can't be all bad. It's kind of like in the political sphere, Skip. If a Democrat comes to the defense of a Republican and vice versa, see? And that's what this is all about. I get it. He didn't like the fact that he's getting beat up by his local media. Everybody's taking shots at him and all that. I don't believe any quarterback, any head coach or coordinator has tried to rein Aaron Rodgers in. They probably asked him to show better leadership and change his body language and stop all the finger pointing and doing all this. But I don't think anybody tried to rein him in, Skip. Look, I just believe, I know Brett a little bit. He played in the era in which I played. My brother played with him. I think guys sincerely like playing with Brett Favre.
I do too.
I think they thought he was a great leader.
Yep.
And you would have to ask some of the guys that played with both players, because there are some that played with both quarterbacks, and evaluate their leadership skills. But I think Aaron Rodgers is supremely gifted. But supremely gifted, there's been a lot. Everybody is gifted to a certain extent. You play in this league, Skip. He just has a very unique set, maybe more gifted than anyone that ever played that position. But that doesn't mean he's a great leader. And what has that got in the Packers? For all that talent, for all that skill set, and Brett, the most dynamic player ever, what's that got in him, Skip? One Super Bowl appearance.
Okay. Thank you. You finally saw the light. So, do you remember what the guy said on the phone to Liam Neeson just after he kidnapped his daughter?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Gives me
Yeah.
chills.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, I'm saying good luck to Aaron next year.
Oh, you saying good luck to the new head coach?
No, I'm saying to both him and the head coach. Just good luck.
Okay.
Because they're going to need it next year, because it's time for all this talk to cease. I need to see more from Aaron next year.
What you need to see? 45-7?
I need to see wins. I need to see deep in the playoffs. I need to see a Super Bowl run that I just haven't seen from him. And it's because he's not the leader that Brett Favre was. That is, you just said it. That just nails everything. And by the way, who is that? Was that really Brett Favre speaking? Because that I don't even know who that. That sounded like Biff Favre to me, right? Like who is that
He's
guy?
changed.
He's changed. He's
hanging
mellowed out,
Yeah.
man, and just hanging out on the farm. Or I don't know. Is it a ranch or a farm? I don't know what it is.
Close.
Yeah, it's
No,
somewhere-
they don't have ranches in the South.
I think they
call
do.
them farms.
Okay,
What
it's a
shirt
farm.
was that he was wearing?
I don't know.
Probably, he's a Wrangler guy.
He's a
still,
wrangler.
So,
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
But the point is, he's now mellowed into post-career
Defender of all.
ambassadorship.
Yeah.
He wants to be a Packer ambassador. He wants to reopen the doors so he can go up there maybe once a football season and be
Beloved
celebrated.
again, yes.
Yeah, just be celebrated as a Packer great. He's going to say all the right things about Aaron, and I get you. If you want to say he's the most gifted thrower of the football ever, well, Jamarcus Russell was a gifted thrower of the football. Kyle Bowler was a gifted thrower
Where'd
of
they
the
get him?
football. They couldn't play the position. And it does offend me when he says back in the Super Bowl period that Aaron was the best player in the game. Well, he wasn't better than Tom Brady because the quote is best player. Well, player is playing the position, and nobody's played it better than Brady has. And it entails leadership
Yes.
and quickness of release and ability to read and accuracy and touch and all those things that go into playing the hardest position to play in all of sports. And Aaron's got a lot of tools. Like you said, he's got a particular set.
Oh,
of
he
skills.
got a toolbox now.
Yeah.
He got monkey wrench. He got three
He's got
quarters.
them all.
Yeah.
He's got a blowtorch in there.
Yeah, he got flatheads, Phillips head screwdriver. Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't equate to winning football games.
Right.
So over the last 2 years, we can give him the injury pass or whatever you want to give him, but his numbers say he is in decline.
No, the number don't say that. Stop saying
do.
that.
They
You keep
just
saying
do.
that. 28-2, and only one player threw the ball down the field 20 yards or further more than Aaron Rodgers. That's my homeboy, and he was the MVP. So this notion that he's dinking and dunking, this notion that he's throwing the ball, because normally, why would you not just throw the ball away? That's what he used to tell it. I heard it all the time. Just throw the ball away. Don't throw it up for grabs. That's what we criticized Brett Favre for, because he would just throw it up for grabs. He wouldn't let it.
They're actually the flip side of each other.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Because Brett would try anything, and a lot of times it would work.
Yeah, a lot of times it didn't work. Because he calls. What about the one he threw in Philly? What about that one?
I got
Okay. So with that being said, Skip Bayless, look, Aaron Rodgers, and now, Skip, as I sit back and I was thinking about this topic last night, and you know we always ask, well, if you flipped him, if you put Aaron Rodgers in Tom Brady's system with Coach Belichick, and you flip the roles, I'm beginning to have second thoughts about that. Because leadership, the one thing that I can honestly say about John Elway, my quarterback that I played the bulk of my career with, I knew that he was going to be willing to accept responsibility and not put it off on me if something didn't go right. And if I did run the wrong route, the public would never know. The announcers would never know. The fans in the stadium would never know. He might come back after the game, or we be a meeting on Monday. He's like, what's this? What was this right here? What's the depth? But some of the things that Aaron does, I think that goes counter to being a great teammate. Skip, I already feel bad I dropped the ball. I already feel bad that I missed the assignment.
Yep.
I don't need you to come in and add more to it, because guess what? When you throw that pick, I'm like, Aaron, I was open on that one. You should have come to me, because I'm not going to try to make you feel bad. You see how that works? That goes hand in hand now. He's great, but he's not perfect.
Last year, Aaron Rodgers had the lowest completion percentage of his career.
Well, this year he's going to be MVP. MVP. He'll have more touchdowns and fewer interceptions than Tom Brady, and I'm willing to put 5 cases of dew on it right now.
I'll put 5 on MVP right now.
No, Tom won't win it.
I'm not saying that. You just said he's going to win MVP.
Yeah.
Well, you got Ben Roethlisberger. I got him over Ben.
I got 5 against Aaron Rodgers right now.
You got 5 against Aaron against anything.
Well, I win every time.
Well, that's what everybody.
Do you realize we're going on 9 years since he's been to his one and only Super Bowl? That's a long time, man.
Well, there was a long time between Tom Brady where he won his first was his last with third.
That's a
And then he went to 3 more.
He done gone to 5 more, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. But I mean, he won 3 more.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
45. He'll have 38, 40 touchdowns and probably fewer than 10 picks, because that's what he do. He doesn't turn the ball over, Skip.
He shattered his own record for throwaways, and it wasn't even close. So what he does is high IQ. I don't love that.
And doesn't he do 20? What's 28 and 2? Who wouldn't want 28 and 2? 28 tubs and 2 picks. Who wouldn't want that?
What was the record? Like, I'm losing track. Was
What?
it 3 games below 500? What was it?
Who, Aaron?
Yeah. No, their team last year.
Oh, yeah, the team wasn't very good. I mean, but you ain't going to talk about the injury that he suffered in game 1 and tried to fight through it? We're not going to talk about that?
The one he talked about LeBron-esquely, where he
You
said,
know what? Don't do that, Skip.
I had a terrible injury.
He did.
Did he play?
Oh, you don't think? Oh, don't do that, Skip.
Did he play? Shannon Sharpe taught me, step on the field, no excuses.
Oh, so now you want to listen to what Shannon Sharpe has to say.
Well,
That's a good quote.
that's the one thing that you said that I buy.
No, Skip, the excuse is harsh because excuse is black or white. But I need to offer an explanation. I need to give you some nuances to would help you understand what may or may not have led to some of the problems that Green Bay experienced last year. But all this notion about, rein him in, ain't nobody tried to rein him in. Skip, who tried to handcuff him? They let him do what he wants to do.
Well, the point is, it's impossible.
Yes.
Like it's not even a possibility to rein him in.
Yeah, if you're worth anything as a coach, you play to the guy's strength. And everybody says, well, he's a system quarterback. Every quarterback has a system.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson ain't running Tom Brady's system. Tom Brady isn't running Lamar Jackson's system. So in other words, they're a system quarterback.
They were 6-9-1, Skip. So
6-9-1.
I mean, he was injured. He was injured.
6-9-1.
Injured.
But no excuses.
Well, explanation. I just offered an explanation.
Shannon Sharpe completely signed off on that bombshell report in Bleacher Report.
What?
About
I
Aaron
believe
Rodgers. You just bought.
Yeah.
Mark Murphy's trying to backtrack, saying, "Oh no, there's no way I told him don't be the problem in the conversation." It's so specific of a quote.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. And again, what is Mark Murphy going to say now? He's stuck with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
They gave him the big.
And then I love Aaron. Aaron said, "Well, if I hated Green Bay McCarthy so much, why would I sign an extension? $130 million extension, plus you already had 2 years left at about $40 million. So 6 years at $177 or $187 million, that's why."
I think we'd all sign that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, is Kawhi Leonard coming to the Lakers this summer? Are you going to be able to handle talking about this guy all the time? Chris Broussard answers that question next.
No mercy.
Well, the Lakers' reputation has taken a big hit since Magic Johnson's surprise resignation as president. The LA Times quoted one GM as saying the Lakers are a bad franchise. And there are reports that GM Rob Pelinka is part of the problem. One agent said, quote, "I just don't see how they do anything going forward with Rob in place. No one trusts him." That could be a problem with this summer's big free agency class. And yesterday, Rick Bucher said right here on our show that their number one target is Kawhi Leonard. Take a listen.
I don't believe that this is Rob Pelinka's job and away we go. The referendum on Rob Pelinka will be this summer. And the big fish that Jeannie Buss wants is Kawhi Leonard.
Really?
If they get Kawhi Leonard, then I think that Rob, yes, has power, he controls. But this is what's so beautiful about this.
Time out real quick. Bigger fish than Kevin Durant?
They know Kevin Durant's not.
Really? They think it's no way.
That's not happening.
All right.
FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard with us. Chris, possibility. Could you see Kawhi teaming up with LeBron?
If I had to break it down where I think Kawhi will go percentage-wise, I'm going to say 70% chance he goes to the Clippers, 20% that he stays in Toronto, 10% that he goes to the Lakers.
Okay.
Wow.
And part of it is, like Rick Bucher said, if they get Kawhi, Rob Pelinka will get the job permanently. That's not how you catch a free agent.
Yeah.
You have to have the permanent plan in place before you get the free agent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they need to have their front office in place by the end of May, in my estimation. Give you a month to get ready to change the perception around the league with agents, with players, et cetera, et cetera. Look, if they get a Jerry West, if they get a David Griffin to run the front office, I think the chances of getting Kawhi improve. Because what the Clippers have over them now, like, I do think Kawhi just wants to be in LA for the most part.
Yes.
I give Toronto a little chance. But even if they were to win it, don't tell me Kawhi can't leave if they win it. He actually can leave. I think it's easier for him to leave if they win it.
I won y'all.
Now you're a two-time champion.
True.
You can do whatever you want, you know? So I think he wants to be in LA. And the Clippers right now, they're so much better run as an organization than the Lakers. Everybody sees it. They've recruited Kawhi all year. They've had people going to the games.
Yep.
Hey, just letting you know, we're here, Kawhi. You know? Like, that's great. And I think Kawhi, I don't think it's anything against LeBron. They're friendly. Like, you remember last summer, they played ball together at UCLA. Kevin Durant was there. It was a big picture and all that. And I'll tell you this. Earlier in the season, LeBron's camp was convinced they were getting Kawhi. Convinced they were getting Kawhi.
Because?
They were just like, Kawhi's coming. Kawhi's coming. And they probably relayed that to Jeannie, and that may be why she may be confident about it. But that confidence, in my conversation, that waned a few months ago. And now I don't hear that same confidence that they're getting Kawhi. So
were they getting it from Kawhi's camp?
Well, look, you know, the guys talk. So they were, it was from talking to people with Kawhi's camp. And what I've always been told from Kawhi's camp is that he just wants to be in LA. Mm-hmm. It could be Clippers, it could be Lakers. This goes all the way back to when he was still with the Spurs. Mm-hmm. And what I'm hearing now is nothing's really changed. So he's still set on LA or looking at LA and either team. So I don't think the Lakers are out of it, but they're in such disarray. Why would you step into that? And finally, I think Kawhi, you know his personality, Skip. I mean, he just wants to play ball. And does he want to?
Don't answer.
Well, I don't think he wants to deal with all the
play ball when he wants to. Play
when he wants to. I get it, because I'm not high on missing 22 games for rest.
He about to get that. He about to get a max contract. He gonna be playing now.
You think? Yeah. All right, we'll see.
He said, I'm not gonna do an Isaiah Thomas. Y'all not finna do me like little Isaiah.
I don't think he wants. And again, some of it's LeBron brings drama. Some of it's just the intensity of the media coverage on him creates stuff. The Lakers bring drama because of who they are. I don't know if Kawhi wants to deal with all that. Although those two might be the only duo would be better than that would be LeBron and KD.
Okay,
The
but
only duo.
Shannon over here thinks that Kawhi and LeBron don't fit.
Really?
I think Kawhi wants to be more of the guy because if he goes to the Clippers, unless they get KD, he's going to be the big fish.
Right.
You pair him with Kyrie, you pair him with Kemba, he's still going to be the big fish. Mm-hmm. I don't know, even in year 17, if you pair him with LeBron, he's the big fish.
He may not be for the first year,
right?
Or maybe even the second year.
Well, baby,
but
that's
going forward,
that's
you know what I'm saying? Right. That's got to be.
I'm gonna get out the water,
yeah.
And I'm gonna let you have this big old pond by yourself. See, from what I'm hearing, from what I've heard. Rob Pelinka, Skip, how do you get around his baggage when him in that position? My grandfather used to say, boy, the one thing I hate more than anything is a liar. He said, if you lie, you'll steal. If you steal, you'll cheat. Now, they said this man done stole everybody's clients. He done pulled a fast one on the former owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Skip, how do we trust that? If I'm an agent and I got free agents, you think I'm going to send him there after the lies you done told and I know you've told? So that's what Jeannie Butt's going to have to look at. You got a guy in position of authority that I'm not so sure a whole lot of people trust. So now how do you get past that? Forget Bron, because Bron going to do his thing. Bron going to be working behind the scene because he about to pull that G600. That thing about to get a bunch of mileage because, he keep them pilots on standby. So he about to get a bunch of mileage. Wherever Kawhi at, Kawhi can't outrun us. As a matter of fact, we might show up to a Toronto game.
He has a movie to make.
Don't be surprised if you see LeBron with a pair of sunglasses and a hat in Toronto. You don't be LeBron with a pair of shades with a mustache like Bobby Valentine. Remember he got thrown out the game and came with that fake mustache? Don't be surprised you see LeBron, and I know you're going to say, why is he watching a game? Michael Jordan would never go watch another superstar play. I know that's what you're going to already say.
That was good. I like that, actually.
That was his voice?
But get ready, because you're going to see LeBron in a couple of games.
Recruiting.
Yeah. Uncle Sam wants you.
First of all, it's ironic to me that Kobe's guy now just gained more power in LeBron's franchise. Because Pelinka is Kobe's guy.
Yeah.
Because Pelinka was
That's
his
why
agent.
he's still there.
Jeannie,
that's why he's there.
And Kobe is Jeannie's guy.
Okay. So I wonder how Mr. LeBron feels about that now, because all of a sudden his guy, Magic, is out. I thought Magic was his guy because Magic raved the other night about, I recruited LeBron, and I'm still not convinced that he recruited him. I think LeBron recruited LA.
Yeah, there didn't have to be much recruiting done. Right. But you're right. Look, Jeannie essentially chose Kobe over Magic because we're talking about did Magic want Luke out? Yeah, but the sticking point was Pelinka.
Yeah.
He wanted him
because
out.
Of Kobe, Jeannie wouldn't let that happen. So she chose Kobe over Magic and essentially Kobe over LeBron.
I agree. So how do you think LeBron today feels about all of the above?
That may be why. Look, I think LeBron should have said something Tuesday night or Wednesday, but that may be why he's not saying anything because he's angry. And better, you know how they say, if you're angry, don't say anything.
You know what? We gonna guess what, Skip Bayless? What we gonna do? LeBron's gonna do. He's gonna summon Jeannie Buss to Brentwood.
Okay.
Now she gonna have to come down and sit on our couch.
I'm not sure anybody summons Jeannie.
Well,
I don't either.
Well, how about this here? You like missing the playoffs again? Because if I don't recruit a superstar player, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So now, Jeannie Buss, I need you to come down to Brentwood. Bring whoever you got your security detail, and I need you to sit down on my couch, and we're gonna need to map out a plan of how we gonna do this because we in business together.
I don't know where Jeannie lives. Marina Del Rey. I don't know.
Probably Malibu. I don't care.
I don't know.
Probably all over. Got
Probably
Yeah,
all
let's be
over.
honest.
You got that kind of money?
Wherever she wants, all
And
locations.
she would summon LeBron to wherever she is.
Bron
That's how
ain't
that
going.
would happen.
Bron ain't going.
Yeah.
He
Bron ain't
should.
going.
He should
No, we
go.
don't. No, we don't.
Why not?
We ain't going
That's
nowhere.
his
We busy.
boss.
So I'm going to say this one more time. The other shock to me about Magic's off-the-cuff, bizarre, great, step-down speech the other night that he gave the media. He goes 45 minutes, and he mentioned LeBron James one time in the context of, I recruited LeBron. That's what I do best. I recruit. I close deals in my businesses. We got billion-dollar deals because I close them. That's what his point was. I need to get back to closing
He'll
deals
close
in my
them.
business, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm with you on that. But not one time did he thank LeBron or talk about my partner LeBron, because it seemed like they were business partners, like LeBron came here to be Magic's guy, and together they were going to reconquer the world for the Lakers.
You can't say that publicly, Skip.
Okay? Yeah, but you should have some feeling of emotion, because obviously then there are rampant reports, I'm sure you've heard the same thing. Magic didn't even call, I get why he didn't call Jeannie, because he was mad at Jeannie because he'd been put on the hot seat the day before. But why didn't you call LeBron and give him a heads up? Because you were in this together.
He might have.
Well,
I believe he might have shot Bron a quick text, bro. I'm out.
I would think he would do at least that. I wonder though.
Well, the reports were nothing. Even Brian
Right.
Windhorst, who's pretty close with the LeBron camp, I don't know if he's close with LeBron, but he reported LeBron was blindsided.
And with that
by it.
I wonder if it was embarrassment. Because I think when Magic and Rich Paul and LeBron met on Saturday for 3 hours, I think Magic laid out, look, we're going to get rid of Luke. We're going to bring in Ty Lue. We getting rid of Pelinka. We're going to whatever, bring in whoever, right? And then you go talk to Jeannie, and she's like, no, you're not. So now you're supposed to be the most powerful person in the organization. You the guy, you sold LeBron on that.
Right.
And you thought you were.
Right.
And now you're not. Maybe it was just embarrassment.
Right.
That's interesting.
And I agree
Maybe.
because Jeannie kept saying publicly in podcasts and to anybody, that's going to be Magic's decision. And then when it was reported that Magic wanted to get rid of Luke at the trade deadline on All-Star, she said no. It was reported that he wanted to get rid of Rob Pelinka. She said, no, well, you keep telling people publicly, I got all this power, but privately, you're stripping me down. So you know what? I tell you what I'm going to do, Jeannie. Jeannie, 'cause first of all, I took a pay cut to take this job.
Right.
Skip said I got billion-dollar deals I close, because that's what I do. I'm the Mo Rivera closing business deals. I close
He
them.
is. I give you
So
that,
you know
'cause
what?
he's
Jimmy?
done it his
I
whole
don't
life.
I don't need this.
Yep.
I can be Magic all the time as opposed to part-time. So you know
Yep.
what, Jeannie? Just so you and I don't fall out, I would never fall out with you because I have too much respect for your dad. And I love you like a sister. You know, teeth and tongue will fall out, but family shouldn't fall out. Magic views Jeannie as family. I ain't gonna fall out with you, Jeannie. I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say I'm up out of here. Impromptu, because nobody knew Skip, because Magic was talking about we walking in the game and everybody talking about next year we gonna be all right, and Magic talking about I'm not gonna be here. You know, I'm like, whoa, man, what's that? But he shot Bron. I can assure you, he shot Bron a text. Bro, I'm out. Bro, I can't deal with this. I'm sorry that I brought you here into this situation. I sold you the bill of goods that somebody sold me.
Unless Magic thought he got sold a bill of goods by LeBron, who was not all in.
Bron is all in. Both feet is on the wagon.
Now, the irony of that statement is Magic obviously wasn't all in either, so they shared that not being all in. But in the end, I don't think Magic loved LeBron's behavior last year, his body language, his lack of leadership, his lack of complete, total commitment to this.
Well, I think his leadership is fine. Look, and he said he's been working on his body language his entire career. That's something that he's going to. It's like an addict. It's something you work on every day.
Yeah.
Because when you've done something so long, that's your behavior. That's the pattern of the behavior that you get when something upsets you.
Yep.
He understands he needs to work on that, Skip. But I just believe that once Jeannie Buss told Magic that he wasn't going to be able to do what he thought he was. Oh, that's in my purview. That's in my power. That's me. I should be able to hire and fight. You told me I could. Remember, Jeannie, you called me. I ain't called you looking for the job.
So many layers of the story. It really is hard to grasp all the different things that may have happened. Chris, you're going to be back later in the show. And one Steelers player says everyone just needs to shut up. Stop talking. We'll explain that.
No mercy.
Steelers have been surrounded by drama this offseason, with former players calling out current players on the roster. Antonio Brown is a Raider now, but he has called out both Ben Roethlisberger and Juju Smith-Schuster on his way out the door. Guard Ramon Foster has had enough of the chatter, and he posted this yesterday. Moving forward, any former player or affiliate of the Steelers who has an issue with anyone still in the locker room, please contact me, Marquise Pouncey, or anyone else you feel you can talk to, whoever you have an issue with. We will get you their number so you can address them. I promise. These media takes might give y'all good traffic on your social media outlets, but the guys still in that locker room, who y'all still know personally, have to answer for those comments. Call them what you want, but call them personally and tell them. Defend who you want, but you don't have to mention the team at all. Whether you have a ring or played for 1 year, enough. Chill. Shannon,
Yeah.
do you like Foster saying this?
I love the message, Skip, but he's the wrong harbinger of that message. Because this is what happened last year. Unless this is another Ramon Foster, I'm not sure, but I think this is Ramon Foster that said before week 1, talking about Le'Veon Bell, here's a guy that doesn't give a damn. I guess so we're treated as such. I just hate that it's come to this. He's making 7 times what I make, twice as much of what Al Villanueva with his left eye is making. And we're guys who's doing it for him. I wonder if Ramon Foster at that time had Le'Veon Bell's phone number so he could call and verbalize to him how upset and disappointed he was. Because guess what? The media got wind of this quote, and guess what they had to do? They had to ask, do you feel the same way that Ramon feels about Le'Veon? Someone was having to answer questions for something you said, Marquise Pouncey. Now, we remember how outspoken he was when James Harrison was released and signed with the Patriots.
Yep.
Oh, he know what he did. He's erased his own legacy. Let's be serious. It's crazy. It blows my mind. Now, it was reported that James Harrison was doing things that led to his being cut. Did Pouncey have James Harrison's phone number? Could he have not called and said, bro, I don't really like the way you handled that situation? I get it. I love the message. Love it. But, Ramon, you started this. You started criticizing. You were criticizing a player that still had the possibility of being on your team. So you opened this door. Now, I agree. Enough is enough. AB, you got your money. You happy. You got what you wanted. You said you wanted to be elsewhere. You wasn't getting the love and the praise. You know, you and Ben was going back and forth. Mike Tomlin wasn't coming to your defense. Okay, I get it. You're going back. Let that go. It's time to chill with it. Whatever, I'm glad Juju hadn't responded anymore. Everybody felt that Juju took a slide at AB because of the photo he posted, had AB off in the corner in the distance. I get all that. Yes. But if Cam Hayward had said that, okay, I'm buying that. The message is great. It's just the messengers I agree with.
There's a little truth to everything you just said, but only a little. Remember, Ramon Foster is a current leader of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been there a long time, and I think he is one of the most respected voices in that locker room. So on the Le'Veon situation, he is commenting on a current teammate who was holding out, obviously, at that point. And I don't have any problem with that because he was speaking for the offensive line and the team. They felt like
he couldn't call it.
Le'Veon had betrayed them.
But
again, he's making a statement in support of the team unity for those who were already who were there playing while one guy was not there for them. He felt like that Le'Veon had broken the bond with the team.
He broke the bond by talking about another man's money. As long as you've covered the NFL, Skip Bayless, you know that's rule number 1. Talking about a man's money. His family is closely behind that.
Yet, he felt like he needed to make that statement to draw their team back together, which was split down the middle over should Le'Veon be out or not or in,
right?
Or which way. So the bigger picture of this was he was speaking out to, he was asking what do you call it, a personal service message, PSA.
Yeah.
He's asking ex-players to back off because he's saying they're doing it for the wrong reasons, that they're speaking out against current players for clicks and traffic and followers.
Is any of it true?
Okay. Are they
The current players.
Okay. Well, he's saying you're out of line to do it because you're not in our locker room. That you're doing it. You're saying he's saying that they're saying, hey, remember me? Like they're trying to gain new platforms by speaking out against current teammates because they used to play for the team. So they're trying to promote themselves by calling out current players. And I'd say there's truth to that.
I think Antonio. People know who Antonio Brown is. The thing is, I think Antonio Brown is speaking to things that happened under his purview when he was there. For me, Ramon Foster being openly and blatantly critical of Le'Veon Bell, who was franchise player, who did not sign the tenure, and the Steelers didn't move one way or another. Why couldn't he pick up the phone and call Le'Veon? Why must others answer for what he said about Le'Veon? Now he's asking other players to keep quiet or pick up the phone and call said players when he could have done the very thing.
Well, again, he's a team spokesman, and he's talking about a current teammate.
Was he not there?
So there's no need to pick up the phone and call him because I'm sure they knew each other very well because they played together for a long time.
Well, how are you going to know me very well and you going to talk about me like that? Clearly, I didn't know you as well as I thought. See, I don't need you to Skip. The thing is about friends, I don't need you to be a friend to my face. I need you to be a friend behind my back.
Yeah, I didn't think he was talking about Antonio Brown here. I thought he was talking about ex-Steelers
from
the past.
No. I think he's talking about Le'Veon. AB. I thought he was talking about AB guys that are out of the locker room. Le'Veon hadn't really said anything except the fact that, the Steelers want to do things a certain way, Ben want to win a certain way. I don't think he's been really critical of a whole lot. He hadn't taken the shots that AB has taken. Now, AB thinks he's well within his right. Like I said, there's enough culpability to go around for everybody. I don't see where Le'Veon is at fault in any of this. Le'Veon didn't play. Le'Veon wanted X amount of dollars. He and the Steelers could not reach an agreement. How you get upset at me because I didn't sign the deal, but you won't get upset at them for coming up with more money to get me the deal?
Okay, that's a fair point, but they're just looking at it from a team perspective. In the middle of the year, they're struggling without him in his eyes.
Yeah.
They could be a little better with him.
Did not the Steelers factor that in?
Yeah.
Did you factor that in?
Okay.
So in other words, you told me you didn't need me. So why y'all bothering me? Let me do my thing. Let me get on these tracks right here. Dropping beats, that's what he was doing.
Okay. I'm not a big Le'Veon fan, as you know.
Yeah,
I think this spoke to the team's view of the lack of character of Le'Veon Bell. Like he was fair game to criticize because they felt like he had betrayed them. No. Even though you can say it's the Steelers' fault.
The Steelers betrayed them because the Steelers hold the checkbook.
Yeah, but they decided as an offensive line that he just wanted out. He just didn't want to be.
No, I want to get compensated. I wasn't gonna let y'all put another 406 touches on my body and pay me this $14 million. Because you know what they're gonna do, Skip? This is how they do it. Play your contract out to the very end for running backs for the most part. Okay, franchise. Okay, you done. We already got what we can get up out you. You done squeezed all the juice. It's kind of like the horse, Skip. You ride the horse, the horse die, then you eat him. So you got all the use you can out of. That's a saying. People don't. I'm sure somewhere people eat horse. I never ate no horse, but I'm saying that's the saying.
I never heard that.
You never heard that, Skip? When you use the horse up, you ride the horse. He done won all the races he can. You can't ride him anymore, and then now he dies and you eat the horse. So that.
I don't like it. Let's not use that one anymore.
Oh my goodness, Jenny.
I love horses.
I love them too, but I'm sorry, Jenny, they
not an
died.
expression.
Okay, what about this here? You done rode the horse, he can't win anymore, and then he died, you turn him into glue.
That's way worse. Don't use that one either.
Well, he just dies.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't have to eat him.
Well, okay, I turn him into
Eat
glue.
harm.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
People eat their horses?
People eat horses.
Well, I know they do that, but you don't eat your own horse.
But I'm just saying, Skip, that's when you got all the it's a metaphor, Skip, for getting all the use out
I've
of
just
it.
never heard of any cowboy riding his horse until it
You never heard that before?
Let's just cook him.
No, you never heard that before?
Nope.
Oh, man, you know what? I need to go and get you those old coffee book on Shannon Sharpe.
Really?
Yeah.
You should
got a
come
big
up
old
with
got
a
a big
book.
old book. Just sitting on them.
I
My
hope they're
stomach
your
hurts now. I'm
isms.
thinking
Your
about
stomach don't
horses.
hurt.
I don't like it.
It hurt from that pint of ice cream you had last night. That's what it hurts from. Yeah, tell them that.
This is getting out of
Yeah,
control. I am healthy, Shannon.
I didn't say you weren't healthy, but I want you to tell everybody about that pint of Rocky Road you had last night. It wasn't about no horse.
I didn't have any, actually. So
Skip
thank you
there.
so much. I'm only healthy around
I'm
you guys.
lost.
I'm learning from you.
Okay.
You eat well, you take care of yourself, and I'm following suit. We're moving to the playoffs. They start tomorrow.
Oh, the Reese
so are
is gone.
these guys going to take the Warriors or the field? Maybe some dew? We'll discuss.
Maybe.
What the Reese's peanut butter?
No mercy.
NBA playoffs get underway tomorrow as the Warriors start their quest for a three-peat. Golden State is a huge 1-2 favorite to win the title, but they only won 57 games this year, which is the fewest in the Steve Kerr era, and Steph Curry injured his ankle earlier this week, but should be okay for the playoffs. That's what we're hearing. Chris Broussard back with us, but Skip, I will start with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you taking the Warriors or the field?
I am taking the plunge, and I am taking the field.
Wow.
It might be a field of dreams or bad dreams. I don't know what field it will be. I just
Field
had
of
this
doom for me.
feeling. I've told you
do.
guys, both of you, all year long. I just have a feeling that Golden State is a ticking time bomb. I just have a feeling that this all-time prohibitive favorite, this is one of the most prohibitive we've ever seen.
Yes.
I just feel like it's about to reach its expiration date as a dynasty. And again, Houston had them dead to rights last year. It nearly happened last year. And I just feel like this year's team is even more psychologically vulnerable than last year's. I'm pretty sure that everybody in that locker room thinks that Kevin Durant has 2 feet out the door. Is that fair to say?
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of lack of trust can rear its ugly head when things don't go exactly right and you get your backs to the wall in some big playoff game, maybe on the road in Houston. Who knows where it'll be. I'm not sure where it's going to happen. I just have a strong feeling it will happen. And obviously, it looked like KD and Draymond made peace over their incident on the bench against the Clippers early this year. But it's an uneasy truce. That can rear its ugly head when least expected. And this team, I keep saying, it lost 8 games by 20-plus points. 6 of those games came at home. That's one bad sign after another. There's never been an NBA champion in the history of this league that lost more than 6 games during the regular season by 20-plus points. And now we have the DeMarcus Cousins factor. I love DeMarcus Cousins. I have before his draft. I love his game. But I don't love his emotions, and he can be a ticking time bomb, and he has never played a single playoff game in his life. And all of a sudden, the new Warriors are starting to revolve around the sun that is DeMarcus in the middle. They just do. Like the offense is starting to feature DeMarcus as the central figure.
Right.
And it's new, and it's different, and it's working so far because they've been on a pretty good roll here of late. So I can't discount it right now, but I look at what Houston did to them. Houston went 3-1 versus them this year. Houston is not afraid of Golden State.
No.
And the one game that Golden State won at Houston was without Kevin Durant. And it felt like the rest of the team was making a statement, okay, if we're not going to have him next year, watch this. Watch what we can do on this night. And I like what Daryl Morey has done to shore up that team post-Trevor Ariza, post-Mbamute, who gave them some defensive toughness. But listen, Austin Rivers is playing clutch for them. He's playing key minutes for them. Fareed plays strong for them.
Yeah, he's great.
In that Daniel House, every time I look up, he's making another three. He's making 42% of his threes. All of a sudden, I'm starting to like the sport. Shump is there. He can come in and defend a little bit, hard-nosed, strong. I like the supporting cast, and I like their mentality against Golden State. And it looks like that's going to happen early on in the second round now. Yeah. So, again, in the end, my takeaway is that Golden State will beat Golden State somewhere along this playoff trail. And I've thought that all year.
Everything that you said is true. I mean, not only is Boogie Cousins emotional, but you look at Draymond. We've already seen him implode in the playoffs.
Yep.
Kevin Durant got 16 technical fouls this year. He's been on a hair trigger the last couple of years. He's been able to control it come playoff time, but who knows? Push to the wall early, we'll never know. I'm going to take the Golden State Warriors for the simple fact this might be the most talented 5 starters in the history of the game.
I don't disagree.
Maybe you go back to the Celtics, they had a better bench. to go with the starters. If you go back to the Lakers, maybe they had a better bench than these 5. But 5 guys that's been to multiple All-Star games. You got 2 MVPs, a bunch of all
If you
NBA.
just do pure
Just
talent.
a 5,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No question.
And if you look at them since the All-Star break, that 5 has the highest net defensive rating. So they figured out a way to play with Boogie Cousins.
Yeah.
Because remember, for the long time, the thought was Boogie can't move his lateral with that Achilles. He can't move as well, and yada, yada, yada. They're a better defensive team with Iggy. Iggy's hit the wall.
I'm afraid he has. I love him, but I'm afraid he hit the wall.
But with Boogie,
Yeah.
and the thing is, what we thought at the beginning of the year, they can win without Boogie. I'm not so sure now that they can win without Boogie. He needs to play well in order for them to win. And with that, I'm taking them because even if one of these guys have an off night, the other guy can still go get you 40 points. I would have loved to see Houston play them in the 3rd round. I just think they will be gassed up. I think they're going to make quick work of the Clippers, probably sweep, and then they're going to be geared up because I believe the series in Utah and Houston is going to be, you're going to just have to pull up a chair. They're going to be there for a while.
I don't think you're crazy, Skip. I mean, Houston, look, in the last 2 years, Golden State in the playoffs, 28-3 against all the other teams in the league. 4-3 against Houston. Houston's won 6 of the last 11 games between the 2 teams. All right. So Houston's legit. That's going to be a heck of a 2nd round series. Although I think Golden State will beat them. And I think they'll beat them in, I'm going to say 6. Milwaukee, if they can get out of the
You're
East.
going that far.
If they can get out of the East.
Yep.
Which I think their experience at the end of the day, I love Milwaukee. I hope I'm wrong when I say this. I think experience will favor Toronto over Milwaukee. So I'm picking Toronto to beat Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference
I
Finals.
thought you liked Boston.
Dave, it's too much. They're too far gone. So, but if Milwaukee
Kyrie's got 2 feet out the door. They got
Yeah,
the same
they're a
problem.
mess.
And the car service. The door is open in the car service. The car's already out front.
All right.
Right. If Milwaukee gets Golden State, their length is incredible. They're athletic. They're tough. Bledsoe and guys like that. They can get physical with you. They
need-
shoot the 3.
Brogdon needs to
Yeah, I was
be
going to say,
back.
is Brogdon
And if
back?
they get that far, he probably would be
Probably
back,
would
I
be.
think. They shoot the 3 well. They're well coached, so they could give them problems. But all that said, I'm with Shannon, Golden State. I'm picking. You're right. I think they are a ticking time bomb. And that's why I've said, look, if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm looking at if we win it this year, why not go for 4 straight and distance myself from Michael, LeBron, Duncan, everybody except Bill Russell who did it. I don't think they will win it next year. That's he should go because I do think the frustrations, the tensions, the doubts, just the egos, the run itself is mentally taxing.
a long time to be around
that's why
somebody.
nobody else has done it since Bill Russell. So I think that's when the bomb would explode. But this year, I think their unspoken rallying cry, unspoken, because I don't think anybody's saying it to each other. The unspoken rallying cry is one last hurrah. Because they know KD's gone. And Draymond, look, he needs to stay in Golden State, but who'd he just sign with? Rich Paul and Clutch.
Yeah.
And one thing about Rich, they're going to try to get as much money as possible. Draymond is not a max dude. He needs to stay in Golden State. But I don't know that Clutch sees it like that. They're going to want him to get as much money as possible. So I think they're like one last hurrah. This could be our last time together. I think Draymond will stay there, but I'm just saying. This could be our last time together. Let's go out with a bang and 3-peat.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. If they sign KD to a max, Steph Curry's on a max, ain't no way you can sign Clay to a max.
Well, you could, but yeah, it'd be a heck of a.
You trying
They
to lucky?
should, and that's why I think KD's gone. So I don't think that'll even be an issue.
Right.
I think Clay will get the max, and then I think they'll extend Draymond at less than the max. But again, Rich is a hard negotiator.
So you mentioned bench or lack thereof. They just don't have that killer bench anymore.
No.
They used to just blow you off the floor with Iggy's group.
Interesting.
You know,
The Livingston come in, and that was the thing. When their best bench was when in the beginning, Skip, when they had Iggy, they had Livingston, and they had Barbosa. Because if it was close, they would extend it.
wasn't-
If you had a
it wasn't
lead,
fair.
they walk you down.
No, there's
not
now they come in with a lead. The starters leave them with a lead, and when they come back, It's done whittled down.
That's why I think they should have had Boogie coming off the bench all year. It's too late now because he probably have an attitude.
Right.
But you should have had him coming off the bench. And let me say this, though. I don't think we should read too much into this regular season for them because the third year, they don't care about November to April. They just don't care. It's like, man, let's just get through this healthy.
They were bored.
Right.
A lot of the time.
Michael Jordan's 2 3-peats. The last season, the third season of each one was the lowest regular season win total. That's interesting. You just don't care. It's all about May and June.
What? You mean to tell me Michael Jordan lost some games?
A few.
You mean to tell me he was 82-0? He went 82-0.
You ain't winning that argument, Shannon.
He went 82-0.
That. You know that.
Did the 98 Bulls lose at home to Dallas by 35 and to Boston by 33 and to Oklahoma City by 20? There was no Oklahoma City, but 28. You know, the Lakers by 26, Minnesota by 20.
Oh, they got some all-time bad losses.
I think some of that might be in this era with the three-point shot. If they're cold and somebody else gets hot, it can be you know what I mean? And then I hear what you're saying. But I remember the 73 win year, they had a couple of their losses were blowouts. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that was a good year, 73.
It happened.
Who's
are you picking the team?
To win the West?
Yeah, or to win it all. If it's not Golden State, who's it going to be?
Houston will get Golden State.
And win it all?
That could clear the decks for...
You're not going anywhere. You can forget that. You need to get that thought. You know what you're trying to do first. You need to get that.
You haven't made your final pick.
You need to get that thought out your head.
You got the colors
Whatever
on,
you thinking.
we know.
Whatever you thinking, you need to get that thought out your head.
Yeah, Skip, do you want to know the odds?
They're going to go to the second round.
Do you want to know it?
They're going to get to the second round, your team.
Tell him.
They're going to beat.
I got Nuggets in 7.
Yeah. Let's see.
They're going to beat Denver.
If they beat Denver, then they could beat Oklahoma City. And then, wait a second, that could leave them against the Rockets in the conference finals. And guess what? I like San Antonio.
Go all the way?
If they get that matchup, it's not a bad one.
I would like
Not a bad one. But I like OKC over San Antonio.
Did you see what Vegas said? Vegas said San Antonio going all the way. 250 to 1.
250 to 1.
250.
Sometimes people hit the lottery in Las Vegas.
Yeah. But I tell you, I ain't putting a dime on that one.
Yeah.
They just take all that from Vegas like, yeah, we got another summer.
What do we say about Vegas? Yeah, that's how they get the
I
buildings.
Put a dime on San Antonio against Denver.
Against Denver?
I mean, a real dime, like not a.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, you need to go, like that guy bet 85,000 on Tiger to win the Masters. Go drop your 10 bands on,
Okay.
Well, we know the last three-peat, the Lakers in the early 2000s. So the Lakers now look pretty far from that. Are they going to keep Luke Walton, or is he going to be somewhere else next year? We'll talk about it next.
No mercy.
Luke Walton is still the coach of the Lakers for now. All reports say he was likely to be fired earlier this week, but then Magic stepped down, so now his future is really still up in the air. The Sacramento Kings have a job opening, and yesterday The Athletic reported that Walton is the clear frontrunner for that job. Chris Broussard is still with us. And Chris, let's look ahead for a second. Opening night next season, where do you think Luke Walton will be?
I mean, this is just impossible to answer. Let me say this about Sacramento. They are horribly run. Horribly. You fire Mike Malone, Vlade Divac. A few years ago, he's 11-13, which is the best record they had in a while. He's the only coach of several who could get through the Boogie Cousins.
Right.
And you fire him, and look what he's doing in Denver. Now, after David Yeager leads you to your best record in 13 years, you fire him. You were playing an exciting brand of basketball, scoring a lot of points. The young guys are playing well. There's reports about tension in the locker room with the players and him. You're winning. You were playing well. I don't care if all the players don't love him.
Right.
I mean, they're young guys. It's not like you have veterans and you're going to win a championship now. So if I'm Luke, I'm looking at that like, do I want to go into that situation? Now, it's good with the players, the young players, but I don't know if I want to go to that front office. Now, Minnesota is open. You know, that's a place where you got Karl Anthony Towns, you got Andrew Wiggins. He's a California boy. Does he want to go to Minnesota? I don't know, but I think that's a decent job. I wouldn't really want Memphis, Cleveland, New Orleans could open. You know, if the new GM, does he keep Alvin Gentry? That's not a terrible job. So there are other options out there. With the Lakers, I think it all depends on what happens with the front office. If Rob Pelinka ends up getting control, then I think Luke's chances are the best they could be. If it's Jerry West or David Griffin or Masai Ujiri or somebody like that, they're going to want to start fresh, as they should.
I want my guy.
Right, and how many coaches survive 3 front office regimes? That would be the 3rd regime for Luke. And to boot, you got a losing record.
Yeah.
Like, he would have to go. And I think, look, Shannon, you brought it up in our first segment. LeBron is going to have to get involved. And everybody thinks LeBron's always pulling the strings. LeBron typically doesn't get that involved with the front office. The front office talks to Rich Paul and hears his views and assumes that's what LeBron thinks, but they don't necessarily know, you know? And LeBron was close with Magic. He did develop a good relationship with David Griffin. He would talk to them. But LeBron, I think, look, David Griffin will have other options too. But if LeBron were to call him and say, Griff, let's do this again, I think he would go there. If LeBron calls Jerry West, now there's some people that tell you Jerry West would not work for the Lakers under any circumstances. If LeBron calls Jerry West and says, and I've been told this, and says, I want you, come on, back, let's do this. I'm told Jerry West would do it. They bring in Ty Lue probably, and now, LeBron would also, though, in addition to those calls, have to go to Jeannie.
Yes.
And that would be get Jeannie. And look, I'm not for turning over the franchise to LeBron and Clutch. I'm not for doing that. But I am for hearing LeBron out. Heck, the Phoenix Suns hear out Devin Booker. I mean, that's what you do with your best players. You hear their opinions. You don't have to always go with it, but you listen. I'm for listening to what LeBron James suggests and then deciding if I'm going to do it. If Jeannie's going to go family, Kirk Rambis, Phil Jackson, Pelinka, keep him because of Kobe. LeBron has to get involved. He's talking about recruiting. He has to talk to Jeannie like, look.
Yeah, I've been telling you, Skip. If you go to, what is Monday?
What do you
The
mean?
15th. That's the deadline.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to depend on LeBron like the 15th, that's payday too. If you're going to depend on him like that, you need to go to him. Now, I don't believe he's the coach. Now, the one thing, if they get Bob Myers, and you hear that that's being floated out there, if Bob Myers come back, well, he was 39-4 in Steve Kerr's absence. I think that gives him, but for them to bring in another front office and to Luke to survive that,
Right.
Skip, the dude ain't Pat Riley. He ain't not Greg Popovich or Auerbach or somebody like that. To survive 3 front offices, Skip, come on now.
That's ridiculous.
That would be asking an awful lot. So, look, the guy that comes in, if somebody were to come in, he's going to want his guy. I don't care whether it's baseball, basketball, football. Normally when the guy comes in, Skip, he wants his guy. And so I don't believe he'll be there unless Bob Myers get that job, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I hope LeBron is working behind the scenes because, you know, he's good at that. Good at that. Good at working behind the scenes. You don't even know. Like you said, you saw that magic show. Sleight of hands. Look over here. We got something going on over there.
That's what you try to do on this show every day.
Every day. Distraction.
You guys are missing the boat. You say there have been all these regime changes, but the ownership has not changed through all these changes. She is in power. She won power by going to court to basically remove her brothers, right? She is in command, and she just showed you, because she basically I'm talking about Jeannie Buss. She just ran off Magic Johnson. That's what just happened. I'm sorry, that's it. She said no to Magic. No on Luke, no on Pelinka. Pelinka, Kobe's guy, just elevated in stature in the front office. So the answer to you're Ginny Buss on this show, right? You're Ginny Buss.
You know, it gets confusing.
You run this show, you're Ginny Buss.
Thank you. I do what I can.
Yeah. But the answer to your question is Luke is going to be the head coach of the Lakers on opening night next year, because I just see the handwriting all over the locker room walls. And as soon as I read last night that Sacramento has made Luke their #1 target, I just said, somewhere Jeannie is shaking her head and saying, not over my dead body. That would clinch it for Jeannie, like, oh, really? really, our re-rising rival in Sacramento, they want our coach? No. And what have we read? What did she always say about Phil? Phil considered Luke literally like a son.
Yep.
And because Jeannie and Phil were together for a long time, then she would have to kind of consider him like a son,
my son,
right?
too.
And I think it is a very close, tight-knit relationship between her and obviously Kurt Rambis and Linda Rambis, the wife of Kurt, who's now elevating in the front office also. So it's clear to me this is what's happening. And it's clear to me she's also saying no to LeBron because LeBron's, inner circle has made it clear from about mid-year, they weren't for Luke anymore.
Yeah.
They wanted Luke out. So what did Rick Bucher also report? That around the trade deadline, Jeannie got so upset with Rich Paul and LeBron for trying to just flex their muscles and force the trade and force all those kids to go to New Orleans. She got so upset with that she briefly considered trading LeBron James.
Therein lies the difference between her and her dad. There's a reason why the dad put Jim in charge when something happened to him. Because even though he was going back and forth with Shaq, and Shaq was being openly disrespectful, he never thought about trading Shaq during the season. And Jeannie, what you have to understand, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten.
Absolutely.
6 straight years. Now, prior to this run, they had missed the playoffs, 3 or 4 times, a handful of times. Now you got 6 consecutive years, Jeannie. At some point in time, you're going to have to switch up your philosophy. You can't, if you had a corner store or you had a farm, you could run it like that.
She's living in her glorious past right now because all she knows is Showtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did it.
And therein lies the problem. The Lakers are run like it's 1982.
Yeah.
They really are.
No,
They're
I
a
got it.
mom and pop shop in a league full of corporations.
Yes.
Their scouting department is less than
Archaic.
everybody else's. Their analytics department, archaic. I mean, it's a mess. And I think Rob Pelinka, one thing he's looking at is, I'm going to clean this thing up. And maybe if he stays, I think he's going to bring it up to speed and then get the credit. I modernized the LA Lakers. But Skip, Jeannie, look, you can't help but like Jeannie Buss. She is
I agree.
sweet. When
Every
you
time
meet her,
she's
she
tremendous.
is so sweet.
Great.
And she obviously was good at the business
She's also
side.
so tough.
Yes,
She
she's
is
so
so
tough.
She's sweet and she's tough.
Stubborn, tough.
But
Yeah.
look, how long can this go on though? If she doesn't change anything, if you blow the LeBron James era, and just because you're bringing in friends and family and all that to work these positions, at some point the public's gonna be like, hey, can we get up to speed?
Okay, to your point, what just happened was, whether she likes it or not, Jeannie Buss is now on the spotlighted hot seat.
Well, she took Magic
Because-
off
yeah,
and
she
took
took
her to the
that is
field.
correct.
LeBron is there, like LeBron was getting all the heat.
Yeah.
He's kind of in the clear for now.
Kinda
Now
clear.
it's on Magic and Jeannie.
Who was the face of the front office? It was Magic
Johnson,
Johnson.
yeah.
I mean, he's as beloved a Laker. He's more beloved than Kobe. To me, I made the case earlier in the show. Oops, I just dropped my mic.
He is more.
Hang on, I'll
We
just
still
talk to
wanna
my
hear
mic.
for ya.
He is maybe the most beloved player in the history of basketball. Am I right?
That's
Okay.
so arguably
so
for sure.
she just pushed him out. That's the way it came across to me. She made it clear, you don't run this, I run this.
Right.
Okay? She's making it clear to LeBron, you and Rich don't run this, I run this. So what's going to happen? She's going to reach back to her past.
Yeah.
She's going to keep family around her. She's going to keep Kobe's guy and Rambis and Linda, and here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go
Making that
nowhere.
message clear. Chris, thank you.
Well,
for
you
joining
wonder,
us.
there's
Good
some
stuff
people
today.
think she might trade LJ.
Oh boy.
Your boys should go get him.
They're giving us
Philly,
a lot to
make the call.
talk about these
My
days.
boys?
Philly should make
Oh,
the call. Philly.
Well, that's where he probably should have gone in the first place.
Philly should make the
Seriously.
call. I would give up Ben
That
Simmons.
would have been the
for
smarter
LeBron.
move, but it's in Philly, not in Hollywood.
Right. For basketball, that would have been the smarter move.
We're going to transition to Dwayne Haskins. Did he convince John Elway to draft him
What?
this week? It should be interesting. We'll discuss it.
No mercy.
Dwayne Haskins made quite the impression at his pre-draft interview with the Broncos on Wednesday. He reportedly met with John Elway, and he was wearing a throwback Elway Broncos jersey. Haskins wore number 7 at Ohio State because of his admiration for the man who can be his future boss. Haskins could be a top 10 pick in the draft, and the Broncos just happened to have the number 10 pick. So interesting, Shannon. What'd you make of the move by Haskins?
Wow. He wore number 7 at Ohio State because John Elway was his hero. John retired in 99. He was born in 97. But okay, that's nothing.
I don't know about it's a little far-fetched.
Yeah. Skip, look, it doesn't matter what the guy wears in the meeting. You've evaluated him, what he did on the game tape. This is about, okay, how does he carry himself? For me, he had blazer, pair of slacks, okay, fine. Board shorts. I don't care if he come in there with a tutu. Can he play quarterback? Now, me personally, I like Devin White. I want that thump in the middle. Go with Chubb on one side and Von Miller on the other side, and then have that thump in the middle, like the old Chicago Bears in
Okay.
85.
All
That's
right.
what I would like, Skip. Look, I don't think, I'm sure John got a kick out of it, that he had a throwback Elway jersey on. But John's looking at, bro, if you trying to move me with what you wear, I don't evaluate the tape. I just want to hear you answer some questions, maybe put him on the board a little bit and see what that is. John ain't worried about no jersey.
So if you're the New York Football Giants and you were even remotely thinking about drafting Dwayne Haskins at number 6, what are you thinking now?
Well, he gonna show up to your meeting with 11 on.
I
Phil
was thought
Simms.
about that.
He gonna show up with a
Here's
Phil
what
Simms
I think
jersey.
is operating. I believe that Dwayne Haskins is hearing all of the drumbeat, all the rumors, all the speculation that he is dropping down draft boards. And I believe that he fears he won't even go in the first round. And I believe he was begging John Elway by wearing the throwback jersey, please take me at number 10 because that's my best hope at
You
this
think he's
point.
gonna slide out of the first round?
I do. I told you early on, he's a second-round pick to me.
I don't see him getting out of the
Well, I don't know, because once you start to slide when you're a quarterback, ask Aaron Rodgers what happened on that fateful night.
Johnny.
And who is not going to New York? Isn't Dwayne Haskins, didn't he opt out? Didn't he say, I'm not going to New York? I'm sure he's invited to New York. Yeah. Is it possible that he fears he would be that guy trapped
Well, the draft
in
date is not in New York. Skip is in Tennessee. So why the hell he gonna go to New York?
I didn't mean New York. I mean
Nashville.
Go to the draft.
Okay. Oh, I thought you.
Yeah. No. Go to the draft.
Oh, I thought you said I thought you was talking about he turned the meeting
No,
down
I'm
with
sorry.
the,
I'm
with
sorry.
the Giants.
He turned down the chance to go to the draft.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, he want to spend time with his family. What was the left tackle from Cleveland that played all those years? Joe Thomas. He was on a fishing boat when they selected him. Some people, look, it's a great experience. Some people want to be there and come shake the commissioner's hand and hug him and all that stuff. Some people want to be around their family.
Some people don't want to be around their family sitting in the green room when you're on green room cam.
That would
and
hurt.
every time they pick another quarterback or another player, you're like,
My brother, I remember my brother was at at home. Not in Glenville, but he was in South Carolina just watching, me and my sister watching the draft because he thought he was going to Tampa. And they took Paul Gruber.
okay.
And then he ended up going, I think, seventh to the Packers.
Okay.
Tim Brown went 6th.
Okay, why didn't he go to, was it New York then? or-
Yeah, it was in New York, yeah.
Okay.
My brother went.
He didn't want to go? Well, he's not he's a spotlight guy, your brother.
No,
your brother.
not like that spotlight.
No?
If it's on the
Really?
golf course, he the spotlight. Nah, he don't have that pizzazz like O'Shea, like me. I'm a personality.
I worked with your brother on TV.
If he
and
a
I gotta
personality
tell you,
like me-
You weren't quite in his league, but
Whoa,
it's okay.
whoa. Time about. Back up for a second.
Oh.
No, but I need you to put the brake on right quick. Put
Wait.
the
Okay.
car in park. Is he a personality like O'Shea?
No, he didn't have your personality, but he was very good on TV.
Oh, he's very good.
Yeah.
He studied. Now, yeah, he put the time in.
His intellect, his football. Oof.
What about? Hold on. Whoa.
Is that what it is?
You see how he tried to?
Sets him
You
apart?
see what he tried to do? He tried to throw a little.
I got
Okay.
it.
Oh.
I'm right there. I understand.
And you co-sided it. You agree with that, Jenny?
No,
Oh, thank you.
I don't know your brother. I'd like to meet him.
No, I'm just asking you a question. Do you believe? What about my intellect?
It's very impressive.
Yeah. Do you not bleed orange? Yes, you do.
I
You
do.
want your orange team to take this guy?
I
You
want
him.
Devin
you think?
White.
Devin White. So you don't want a quarterback. You got Joe Fluco at quarterback.
We'll trade for Rosen.
Huh.
We'll trade. We'll give you a
You're
third.
going to trade for Josh
Yeah, we'll give you a
Rosen?
third-round pick.
Are
for
you
him.
kidding?
We'll give you a third-round pick for him.
A third-round pick? You need to shore up the quarterback position.
Well, we'll give you a third-round pick for Rosen.
Okay, so where do you believe Dwayne Haskins should be drafted?
First, you go in the first round.
Where? Bottom?
just
Looks like it.
what's happening though? Why
Somebody
is
gonna
he
move back up.
What's?
Hey, the Raiders might take him with 24.
But honestly,
There was a lot of dinking and dunking going on at the Ohio State, and when 3 of his receivers ran like a track team at the combine, I
those
think people
receivers
said,
were
wait a
special.
second, the yak yards
But that's what you do.
were
You put
extraordinary.
You just put the ball in their hands.
they were
let 'em
a
run.
special group. That
Okay.
is true. But
Yeah.
Look at old John. John done dressed. I mean, because, considering that, he wasn't the snazziest dresser. I mean, he dressed way better now than when he did when he played.
Okay.
Blue
With the
blazer
playoffs
jacket.
starting, we got to get to this. We'll skip Spurs upset the Nuggets in round 1. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Time for a final topic of the day. The playoffs start tomorrow, and Skip Spurs will be in Denver to face a Nuggets team that surprised everyone by winning 54 games. The team split their 4 meetings this season. But we start with Shannon. Who's going to win this series,
I
Shannon?
think they'll split it again. Did you know the Nuggets have the best home record of any team that they made the playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh, did you know the Spurs have the second worst road playoff record of any team that made the
They
playoffs?
have the second best home record. Go
Okay,
ahead.
guess what? They get 3 games at home and the Nuggets get 4. I got it going 7 and the Nugs in 7.
Do you?
Yep. You got
Okay.
some due on it too, if you want some.
I don't want any dude.
No.
I'm the underdog. Will you give me 5 points that I can use whenever I want to use them in the games?
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Because I'm the underdog. I will be the first to say this will be the toughest of the 3 series my Spurs are about to play in the Western Conference.
What you mean 3?
3 series. And it was just 8 days ago in Denver. Now, Pop got ejected 63 seconds into the game, but they lost by 28. So this will be tough. But I'm going to figure that somehow, some way, the Spurs will win Game 7 at Denver. I don't know how. I just have a feeling. And that will be their tallest hurdle in the West, because after that, it's going to be smooth sailing.
Can I get some due on that?
On what?
Y'all
part?
you talking about y'all gonna win a game 7 on the road. Y'all road record is terrible, Skip.
Yeah, but we came alive later in the year.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, can I get a case of due?
I got Derek White on my side, and I'm good. There's no due
Murray
bet on
gonna
this.
cook him.
I'm betting my pride on
Murray gonna cook him. Beasley, Harris, cooking him.
Watch what Derek White does to Jamal Murray. Just watch.
And what LaMarcus gonna do with the Joker?
We got,
Plumlee coming off the bench.
we got
Ooh,
Jakob
Millsap.
Pirtle. He came over in the deal for number
Glad
2.
the playoffs are here.
Turtle.
That is it for us. We'll be back Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern. Right now, Colin tells you why Kobe needs to run the Lakers. The Herd starts.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports. One of one.